Hello, everyone! The stream has begun. Closed captioning is on and working. Birds are chirping outside of my window. Audio channels are appropriate and correct, I'm pretty sure. Otatui! Hello! Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having an okay day. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Let me know if there's a particular way that it ought be pronounced.
You mean...
That was pretty good? Okay, good. Oh, Decaf! Hello! Have an excellent lurk. I wonder if Decaf finished streaming or is still streaming or what? I think they're still streaming. Fellow Reverse 1999 streamer. Today I will be playing the main story, but I think Decaf right now is checking out the new Limbo gameplay. The Lucidscape. So if you'd like to check out some Lucidscape gameplay, you can run over to Decaf stream. But here is where we're going to be doing some story. After I feed some critters and whatnot. Start some production, even though this mode doesn't matter anymore. I just want to press the buttons and make number go up. You know, sometimes. I mean, isn't that why we all play gacha games? We want to make number go up. Oh, and also, I'll play this notification right here.
The lady writes just followed.
Thank you so much to the lady writes for your follow. Appreciate you. I hope you enjoy your time with the stream if you come by. It's a new week. We get new free stuff once again. Don't forget the free stuff. Chameleon is here. Hello, hello. Hope you're having an okay day.
Show call for Betty! The 58th Chaplain Imitation Competition has begun.
Oh.
Take your cane. Give me a spin. Perfect.
Oh.
Now go. We can't be late this time.
Oh my gosh, Betty mention. So that is how you pronounce Betty's name.
Is Noir working on a new movie yet? Because I'll be there to record it all, just like back in Chinatown. Oh, but remind me to remind her not to break my viewfinder this time.
How did she break it?
Hold it. Don't turn around. Don't move a muscle. I'm about to get a perfect over-the-shoulder shot right now.
Chameleon, you were sick. Oh my gosh.
There is one
I hope
big
it was.
advantage to my metallic body.
I hope it
That
was
lets
you
me carry the weight
sleep
of my
that
big
helped
old
your body
camera
out.
like it's nothing.
I hope you feel
Plus,
better
no one
soon.
wants to mess with me.
Goodness.
Is Noir working on a new movie yet? There is one big advantage to my metallic body. Life working for the ACD was too
Aw.
quiet. It was like being stranded in this warehouse of time.
One thing I really don't like about getting sick is that I know that I should be resting my body so that it can heal from being sick. However, when you're sick, a lot of times that means you're just uncomfortable, whether that's your throat being uncomfortable or maybe you might have aches or something or a headache. So you can't really enjoy the fact that you're resting, you can't take advantage so much of, sitting back and watching anime and movies or something. Kinoko-kun would like to hijack the stream. Hello, Kinoko-kun. As you can see from the stream title, we're going to be checking out the main story. Yeah, I feel out of it right now, but I think I just slept too much. I see. Yeah, it can be weird when you sleep outside of the usual schedule and stuff. I know it feels weird for me. I feel like a zombie if I take too long of a nap in the middle of the day or something. Or if I sleep in a whole bunch. Got all of this. Golden Fleece. Okay. I finished the story, though. It's really good, but so complex. Oh, boy. All right. I think we're going to be starting that up very soon. I'm going to go to the atlas real quick. And I just want to remind myself of what went down in part 8. Since it has been a couple days since I was checking out the story. And I remember
Don't worry, Miss. Thank you for your understanding.
I was looking at
I see. We'll do our best to
Recoletta's
ensure...
summary of her story that she was writing.
Leak, don't worry. At least this time we're
Story
just...
time, story time.
This set is quite not just in this society they've been running. But we're Miss Jailer, Miss Reckle. And with all due respect, so
Skip.
we came here, I suggest we... Apologies.
Don't apologize. I actually...
That's terrible.
Let me know if you change your mind. By the way...
The jailer told me she found nothing. Timekeeper? Now?
You mean? Or perhaps, well, it's possible.
Okay, the body of the idealist disappeared.
Right now. I'm relieved.
And maybe he's with the physician, and Recoletta thinks that's a good thing, but other people have made it sound like it's not a good thing to go to the physician.
He could have just died like that, but you believe
there's nothing that we found Dr. Dorez's signature in the... But we didn't see her at the gathering.
Do you think she was also sent to the physician? This is all just we need Miss Recoletta. Whether he is or not, he's still... Amigas, I've had this strain out to figure out what it is. Look,
and she's like,
it's a wild guess,
everything
but it feels like
is
everything
matching with
window
the
strangers
story
could
she's
rise and
writing.
sorry. Huh. It starts... Sorry. It's been a while since I told it from the beginning. A few years ago, I worked as a forest ranger. It happened in a desert town called Amalfitano, in Sonora, back in 1975.
Okay, so there's a forest ranger, and the forest ranger was helped by a researcher?
You know what? Most people, but if you like the sound of it so far, please.
Let's see. This is why I wanted to get back to part 8 and just review what
Todo
the story
empezó con los datos de
was.
frecuencia de la cinta. El patrón general parecía haber cambiado.
The parrot
Al
causality
principio, la
researcher.
investigadora, but after a few days
Okay.
and long nights of meticulous calculations, she took her findings to Amalfitano, the
Researcher
town of nothing, as
took
they called it then.
her findings to Amalfitano, the town of nothing.
Near the old looms, I heard a strange rustling at dawn,
A blind
like a die
weaver.
rolling along a wooden floor. Then the morning light dimmed and died. That was the last time I saw the sun. The second time I heard the die roll, I was told the oxen in the fields sank
And then
to
bad
the third
things
roll.
happened
The
when the
fields were
die was
crawling with frogs.
rolled.
The fourth time the die.
Okay.
The final roll of the die was cast in a cage during a duel, before a crowd of eager eyes.
And then they were confused,
that
which
all?
made me feel better, because I'm often confused when I
Well, there's more.
check out
but I haven't
stories
quite
written
figured
by
those
reverse
parts out.
1999
Any thoughts?
writers.
Oh, Verton, it isn't a real die, it's just a metaphor.
Oh, I see. I must have missed that.
The story is still too obscure, isn't it?
Aleph
California
suggested
about this.
adding the blind weaver
In
to
our
shed
last
light on the
correspondence,
hidden
it helped
theme.
at first, but even with a sage, it feels stuck in that village with them. Lost, dazed. Should I change the storyteller's perspective? Started.
Mm-hmm.
Apologies, but you said your story somehow connects to...
It's a strange feeling. Like,
Do you mean that you have a sense? It's nothing to worry about.
no, it's nothing like deja vu is a single moment, a specific situation.
Mm-hmm.
But
The
here it's
Sociedad, the rules, the
everything.
idealist, even the
La
incidents of the
Sociedad,
gallery.
The rules, the idealist,
Uh-huh.
even the incidents in the gallery. Amalfitano and Comala. They're two sides of that same record, playing out the same tune. I had that feeling. At first I thought it was only an interesting coincidence. You're much like the first character in my story.
Right.
A traveler with a suitcase.
Now, is that traveler the researcher or the ranger?
But then I realized, the doctor, your Doris.
She's the
she's
blind,
not the
weaver.
who
Okay,
lost her
got
sight
it.
to the die despite having always been faithful. And the jailer. She's the bank clerk who assisted the corporation in taking over the town in order to escape her past.
The researcher has the suitcase. Thank you so much, Chameleon. Okay.
And the idealist, he's the murdered donkey driver. And the die of Babylon.
That part, I don't think we've seen in the story that we've been shown, right? The murdered donkey driver? I don't know what that's about. But he was murdered. Okay.
Mis queridos amigos ficticios.
Wait. That sounds... unbelievable. You see the world through a different...
Not just the characters. Aleph. He's the only one. Maybe Aleph is in fact still here.
Are you suggesting that someone is controlling that they've set the rules, started the poetry group,
Preventing you
Plan
from
the attack,
finding
that's
Dr.
true,
Doris.
Miss Recoleta? It's very likely that the one
Maybe
acting
it's
against
Aleph
us
who is doing
in
it.
fact Aleph himself.
He was in one of the extracts she read at the beginning of part 6, I think, but he just said a sentence if he was. Oh, okay, really?
But no.
Let me, since we're here in the Atlas anyway, let's take a look. So we have Recoleta's story
La
here.
investigadora se despierta en su cueva en la duna, que le parecía tan vacía como una tumba. Era poco antes del amanecer. Montones de cintas habían ocupado su espacio vital.
Stacks of
apilándose
tapes
una
had
y
eaten
otra
up her
vez.
living space.
Cada uno de estos carretes giratorios hablaba de historias sobre esa
Speaking
cabaña
of stories
con
about
techo
that
azul.
cottage with the blue roof. Oh, I wonder what that is. Those are all the cassettes. Even though it looks like drawings of
Oyó
cassettes,
la
more
voz
like.
del asesinado conductor de burros
The
detrás de
voice
ella.
of the murdered donkey
Oigo a todos
driver.
ellos. Las risas y las voces de generaciones pasadas.
I hear them all, the
Como
laughter and
hojas
voices of
secas,
generations past,
atrapadas
like
en
dry
las
leaves
grietas
caught
de
in the
viejas
cracks of
paredes,
old walls, rustling only
rugiendo
when the
solo
wind
cuando el
blows through.
viento
I
sopla
wouldn't
otra
set
vez.
foot in that house
No
if I were
pondría un pie
you.
en esa casa si
So
fuera tú.
the cottage with a blue
El
roof?
mendigo al lado de la
Maybe?
puerta también habló.
The
Duermo en
doorside
el porche
beggar
cada
spoke.
noche. Cada mañana una luz tenue brilla a través de la ventana. Pero nadie sale nunca por esa puerta. Y nadie ha entrado nunca. Luego la voz del empleado del
The
banco.
bank clerk's
Es la historia del
voice.
alter ego.
It's,
Esa casa debe haber estado
which is the
llena de
jailer,
deudas que
apparently. It's the story of the
nadie
alter
reclamaría.
ego. That house must have been filled with debts.
La anciana enferma, luchando
Sick
en su
old lady
cama.
struggling in her bed
Susurro.
whispered, "The house remembers
La
those
casa
days when
recuerda
people
esos
vanished in the
días.
darkness of night and children were stolen
Cuando
by
la
the
gente desaparecía en la
storms."
oscuridad de la noche.
Sick old
Y los
lady.
niños eran robados por las tormentas.
Sick old
La
lady.
investigadora de paracausalidad.
Researcher had heard enough
Había
and
oído
drifted back to sleep
suficiente
again. There was
y
only the
volvió a
rattling of the
dormirse.
Dive Babylon echoing in her
Solo
hollow
quedaba el
cave.
taqueteo del dado de Babilonia, resonando en su cueva
Was she
vacía.
listening to recordings on her cassettes? Or were those people there with her? She was listening to the cassettes, right? That's what that was. I think. And then I don't think I actually checked out part 7's extract on Friday's second stream. So I want to see... Oh, never mind.
This is a serious violation of the rules.
Never mind. There isn't an extract there. So maybe this is the one that I didn't do on Friday. So now I've done it. Okay. Ooh, there's a lot of stuff there. But I want to get started so we can get as much of this story done as possible. Let's start up with part 9 of the new main story, chapter 9. Let's go.
Easy, easy. It's me, Garcia. We met at the gallery earlier.
Oh, I should have checked to see what was the last thing that happened in part 8. Oh well.
Please, I come in peace.
Okay. Recoleta pays no mind to the young man's explanations. Her focus holds on the woman beside him.
It's you, Octavia! The murderer herself!
Oh, Octavia.
Please, calm yourself, Miss Recoleta. The jailer has already confirmed that she wasn't the one to fire at the ID list. The shot came from somewhere else in the room.
Okay. Recoleta bites her lip, giving a little space to the intruders.
Miss Octavia, what brings you here at this hour?
I come here out of goodwill. Believe me, I didn't want any bloodshed either. I understand you just arrived today. There's something you need to know about the inmates here.
Their visitor's expression is weary and low.
We're outcasts, rejected by society and literature, and our privileges are limited within these walls. But before I started my own literature group, I struck a deal with the Panopticon authorities.
Oh, of course you did.
If we cooperate and stay out of trouble, they'd leave us be. We could discuss literature freely and openly in Comala. Such a thing may seem trivial to you, but this is of immense importance to us.
Oh, there's no happier thing in this world than discussing literature. No one should ever put limits on it.
You're right, Recoleta. But we're prisoners here. There are certain rules we have to follow, except the idealist didn't see it our way. He refused to compromise, believing that the long poem and his so-called ism could break us free from the cage of the ever-watchful eye.
I wonder what the long poem is.
Perhaps he was right. You might have achieved more if you'd listened to him. After all, visceral realism keeps us connected to who we are.
You have to believe in the truth of visceral realism. Because out there, beyond these walls, many of us still do.
And what has it changed? Garcia, you're the latest inmate here. Tell us, 3 months ago, before they arrested you and took you here, what has the visceral realism movement accomplished out there?
Beside them, Garcia, who had been patiently leaning against the railing, produces a metallic vibration on its grates. A rough paper roll burns between his lips. What?
At first, it was revolutionary. Young poets joined in droves. We held gatherings. And the literary world seemed alive again.
What is this describing? A rough paper roll burns between his lips. What? What's going on?
I was just a kid when the leading poets left the city. Everyone thought it was only temporary. But they didn't come back. And nothing has happened since.
Oh, they abandoned the city.
No one says it.
Oh, he's
But we all know.
smoking!
Visceral realism died in 1977.
Paper roll burns. That makes sense.
No, not for me. It's not dead as long as people still believe in it. I believe in it.
Honestly, there's some times in Reverse 1999 where I wish they would just say cigarette. I just wish they would say a cigarette burns between his lips. Like, I don't... It's just a stumbling block. I don't know if that... Like... Is there any other kind of cigarette besides the kind that are, like, a paper roll? Oh, censorship! That's a really good point. That might be it. Or it might be smoking weed. In which case, he would still probably be using a paper roll. I guess you could do other stuff that's rolled up. Oh, that's what was going on there. It was censorship. I didn't realize. Okay. Recoleta says, "No, visceral realism did not die for me. It's not dead as long as people still believe in it. I believe in it." Octavia ignores the childish remark. She knows that conviction can be as fragile as a spider's web.
Belief, faith, what is this obsession with the true self? Why does your type always insist on there being a true self hiding beneath our roles in society? Our disciplines?
Why do you think that isn't a thing, Octavia? You think people are nothing but their role in society? Yikes. What can I say but yikes?
Look at the idealist. He never once stopped fighting for what he believed in, even long after he was put behind these bars.
Idealist, what a name he gave himself. Who will he be when he finally breaks free from the eyes of his central tower? When he is left without his willful audience? And nobody. That's what. And that is a truth even he is terrified of.
Miss Octavia, I hope you come with something more important to share than just some criticism of the idealist.
True.
You're right. I have an important message for you. Dr. Torres. I heard you were looking for her. The woman from the Sao Paulo Veterans Residence. She used to write under the name Erd, didn't she?
Yes, that's right. Do you know her? You're the first person I've met here to speak plainly about her. Do you know where she might be?
We crossed paths, but only briefly. I'm not sure where she's gone. Maybe the authorities know. However, she left this with me. I think you'll need it more than I do.
Octavia hands over her personal folder. Before they might open it, she's already turned to leave.
We have other matters to attend to. I'll leave you to your business. Garcia, shall we?
Oh, this is Dr. Doris's personal, folder? Not Octavia's? Okay. Their visitors leave in haste, their faces and expressions obscured by the night's shadows. The Foundation's investigators open the worn manuscript folder with caution.
The physician told me the horrifying truth about the panopticon of Kamala and the power behind it. Manus Vindictae. By becoming the panopticon's sole patron, they seized control of the resources and the allocation system, turning this place into a living hell. I suspect that the physician, the current highest authority here, is responsible for this situation.
Manus Vindictae have become the sole patron of the Panopticon and seized control of the resources and the allocation system in terms of, like, what stuff gets given to which prisoners.
I discovered that the inmates were put through brutal training, even when they were too sick to carry out their tasks. They also forced pure-blood Arcanist inmates to wear their masks, effectively turning them into murmuring puppets.
Uh-oh.
Just as we suspected. Manus Vindictae is orchestrating everything. No wonder we didn't find them in the city. They've been hiding here all along.
No one would have thought to come looking for them here.
They snap the folder shut. A familiar signature seen on the forward page of Utu magazine, and the receipt found in Sao Paulo's heartfelt home.
But why would Miss Octavia bring this to us? What's in it for her?
Usual suspects, yeah.
Do you think she's trying to mislead us, Timekeeper?
Maybe. But the handwriting in that notebook is most certainly Erd's.
I didn't realize that Erd/Dr. Dores could write. I thought that she only used a typewriter. I feel like if your sight was affected in any way, it would be much easier to type than handwrite.
If she's leading us astray on purpose...
Whatever, that's a nitpick.
Why? Miss Recoleta, what do you think? Could she be Aleph?
Oh.
Not a chance. Haven't you seen how she denies everything beautiful in the world? Aleph would never be so biased. No. Aleph is like a mirror. He reflects both light and shadow. But, Octavia, maybe she hasn't looked at the shadow within for a long time. I know that look on her face. It's the look of a writer. I've seen so many like her during my trip. The faces of a lost, struggling generation.
Ooh. It feels like Recoleta has sympathy for her. Under the night sky, Komala Prison stands like a forgotten gravestone covered by fine, cold snow. In a room repurposed from a prison cell, 3 girls in search of someone share an absurd, bizarre tale. Meanwhile, at the entrance of the central watchtower, a jaguar knocks on a secure door. This is a stretch. This is a real stretch. But I just had this moment of like, is that a JoJo's reference? Three girls. A bizarre tale in a prison. It wouldn't happen to be, let's see. Let's see if I can find a picture. It wouldn't happen to be these girls, would it? These 3 girls? It might be a stretch though. I don't know. I might be making things up.
Dr. Merlin, I'm here to report on today's events.
Come in.
Dr. Merlin? Frantic writing breaks the quiet of the room. Got a new background again. The jailer's visit does not deter the man behind the desk. He continues writing, wholly absorbed, as if each letter were filling the world around him. And that profile picture definitely looked like a profile, the silhouette of Aleph.
There was a commotion in the gallery today, sir. An inmate known as the Idealist was severely injured. The inmates nearby said he lost consciousness from blood loss. However, after we put everyone back in their cell, the Idealist was gone. I made a sweep of the grounds, but there was no trace of him.
Interesting that the jailer hasn't brought up the gunshot.
It's possible that he regained consciousness and went into hiding. I'll perform a full search tomorrow.
The Jaguar finds herself quite unexpectedly concealing the truth about Pablo. Wait. Pablo? Wait. Hang on. Pablo... Who was Pablo?
No need.
Hey! The physician is Aleph! I don't know why I didn't see that coming. I really should have.
Sir?
Probably.
He knew the consequences of breaking the rules, did he not?
Sir, with all due respect, I think today's incident proved just how dangerous it is to let the inmates keep their weapons.
Wow. He's very cold.
We never should have let them walk around with deadly weapons. Even if we had to, we should have doubled the guards. We can't expect them to follow their own rules simply out of fear of the central tower.
I'm very surprised you let them walk around with deadly weapons. Chameleon says, the inmate who had an episode. Okay. They didn't want Pablo to be sent to the physician. Right. And the jailer was like, that's not okay, and I'm going to order everyone in the Sociedad to cease their activities. And the Idealist started a big speech and then was shot during it. The physician interrupts her sharply with no hint of concern.
Such matters fall beyond your purview, jailer. You only need to do what's required of your title.
Oh. Octavia agreed with the jailer, and then he was shot, which is why she's not popular right now. Right.
Is there anything else?
Hello, Datala! Welcome back to the stream. Hope you're having an okay day. What rarity would the jailer be if playable? 3, 4? Definitely. I mean, honestly, when it comes to 4 stars and below, they're all kind of the same to me, but I think we could use another new 3-star.
There is another thing. 2 guests from the Foundation came through today. They said they were looking for someone named Doris. They've shown a willingness to cooperate, though they were involved with the incident in Corridor 0.
Right, 2 guests from the Foundation. They were looking for Doris. They're willing to cooperate. They were involved with the incident in Corridor 0, though. Right. The sound of writing continues. Her report is disregarded. The jailer takes a deep breath. The next part is difficult to say.
Sir, there is one more thing. I told Miss Octavia we're short on rations, and she's adjusted the inmates' portions accordingly, but that won't last long. Manus Vindicte stopped providing supplies back in March, and Sino has collected all the prisoners they had previously placed in her custody. I just wonder why they have so suddenly withdrawn from Ushuaia and brought all the prisoners with them. I also noticed that we haven't received any orders from the government since Warden Tartuffe was transferred. In fact, we haven't had any communication with them at all. Sir, in frank terms, we're facing down a serious shortage of medicine, food, and basic supplies.
Jeez.
At this rate, the Panopticon will soon be unable to operate. Where will our inmates go then?
The man before her says nothing for a long time, his pen still flickering over the page.
Can we ask the Foundation for help? They've sent their people here. Maybe they're interested in the Panopticon?
About that.
I could arrange a meeting if you like.
You're unusually talkative today.
The man finally stops writing and looks up.
Pardon, sir?
That's fascinating, you know. You've become so much more concerned about this place and its inmates than when you first started. You are now dictated by your title.
I didn't mean to overstep. I'm sorry.
You can go now. I have a great deal of work to do. Oh, and one more thing.
He beckons the jailer back before she leaves.
Make sure this month's Kamala Congress is held according to schedule.
The Congress that was mentioned in the trailer.
Yes, sir.
The Jaguar disappears beyond the door, metallic footsteps fading into the distance. Only then does the physician allow his suppressed frustration to surface.
How many times have I warned you about this? The idealist has to go. He's nothing but trouble for us. You're too soft on him, Aleph. Look at the mess he has us in now.
Oh?
Calm down.
What? That's an interesting silhouette. The character seems to have very messy hair.
He's a rabble-rousing thief, a self-destructive maniac, a snake in the grass. He even stole the Tear of Kamala from me. He's nearly ruined everything we've worked for.
The Tear of Kamala. Whoa, there's something on his shoulder. There's black goo. There's black goo. Oh, dripping off of... It's a dye. There's a dye floating next to his shoulder. The man angrily raises the once lost and now found dye. In the dim room, it flickers with a comforting glow.
It's only a dye, Merlin. It does nothing more than a dye can do.
Aww.
You were there today. You saw what he did. He managed to change the Panopticon with this dye, even if only for a second.
Oh, that... Yeah, I remember when the gunshot happened, like... Or right after the gunshot happened, and the Idealist was shot. Something weird happened that made it look like time had reversed. So I think that's what that was.
He'll ruin my work, Aleph. He's a slave to his passion. His head is filled with impulsive thoughts. I don't trust him. We can't trust him. I've done everything you've asked. Now it's time to do your part.
Aleph responds with indifference to the physician's frustration, continuing his writing without pause.
Time's ticking down. I can't afford any further mistakes. No one can be permitted to stop my experiment in the Panopticon.
An experiment, of course. So it definitely... So there's an Aleph and there's a Dr. Merlin. A Jekyll and Dr. Hyde kind of situation, perhaps. Huh.
I'll prove it to them. That we have found the path to the ultimate answer.
Oh. Are you looking for something storm-related? What an exciting twist. Wowie wowie. There we go. Okay, so we've got prison reform notes. Look, the smallest of clues, the greatest of structures, built brick by brick. During the Third Kamala Congress, daily dose of diazepam was reduced from 2 3/4 tablets to none, replaced with 2 classified poetry collections, a 1675, and 60 chlorpromazine tablets to be taken 1.5 per day. 1. 2 days, 11 hours, 8 minutes, and 4 seconds later, an 8mm crack appeared on a bar of his cell, which is on the 2nd floor near the 3rd staircase and is the 8th cell from the left. He scraped off a 4x3mm fragment from the 32nd tile. Why are there so many numbers? 2. Mentions of the other me increased from 3 times in 48 hours to 25 times in 48 hours. Oh, the other me, huh? This has got to be about Aleph. 3. 4 days, 3 hours, 7 minutes, and 8 seconds later, he transitioned from merely collecting manuscript paper to collecting manuscript paper and mirror fragments. Within the next 24 hours, he collected 11 mirrors, which totaled to 103 shards. Why are you counting the exact number of shards? This is... wow. Daedalus says, I feel like we've watched quite a few streams and haven't heard anyone say a dice yet. I am quite chuffed. I mean, it's a die. And I need to look up chuffed. Okay, yes, chuffed is a good word. I had to remind myself what that word meant. During the 6th Komala Congress, I mean, this is 4 characters, this is definitely 4 characters that have been redacted, so I don't know if it's Aleph or a different thing. Supply of fluoxetine and zalproate was completely discontinued, replaced with 4 classified L6759 literary selections and 4 rolls of 400 centimeter bandages. 1. Averaged 32 bangs against bars and walls per hour. Who is counting all these things? The bandages were used up within 4 days, 14 hours, 20 minutes, and 9 seconds, with 89.3 centimeter lost in the water due to excessive ripping. 2. Wrote 15 pages of poetry for over 10 days, 6 hours, 8 minutes, and 3 seconds. Tore up 14 of those pages and swallowed the remaining one. Okay. On Xeno defectors. I wonder if the tower inside the prison has seen this. Based on the above information and recent intelligence from the Timekeeper squad, it is confirmed that Xeno's defector unit had entered Komala prison, which held numerous arcanists, and withdrew from Ushuaia on March 2nd. The operation clearly involved cooperation with Manus Vindictae. The current whereabouts of the defectors remains unclear, pending further intelligence from the Timekeeper squad. The information is fragmented and primarily inferential. For the full reasoning behind the operation and additional details, please refer to attachments 4 through 28. That also kind of had some numbers in it. Okay. I just want to keep going and going and going. I think I'm just gonna do a few runs of part 1. To use up some activity. Wabam!
Join with us, comrades. Do you have a little faith in me, Mirage? Feel my dark embrace.
I don't know what to say about the story other than I am very intrigued and I'm looking forward to seeing more of it play out. I just want more information really badly.
And now to return to my long-term mission. Rest.
I just feel like we get so much you know what? I have a lot of Picrasma. I realize now I I have a bunch of Pickrasma because I bought the Roaring Month 2 or 3 weeks ago, I guess. So that's the reason why I am just tripping over it. I am lousy with Pickrasma. But yeah, new item, new material to farm for all of us. Oh, goody. Okay, looks like there aren't any green things that you can combine to make the Luminite ore. You have to purchase it. Oh, when you play in-person Magic the Gathering, that's what you're saying. Okay, dice is used regardless of plurality by most I've met. Oh! I'm gonna try to listen in on the next time I hear anyone playing it and see what they say, whether they say dice or die. Very curious. As someone who graduated with a degree in linguistics in college, it's all very much like, you know what? Language is funny. Language is funny. People use language in a funny way. And language will never not be funny like that. Another part! The cottage with the blue roof! The cottage with the blue roof was silent as always. In a fleeting dream, the paracausality researcher uncovered the truth behind the die of Babylon. She carefully examined behind patterns, much like an astute astrologer tracks the movements of the stars. Hidden patterns? What may seem like errors or accidents don't negate the verities of destiny. On the contrary, they affirm its very existence. Just ask the great Heraclitus. In an unobserved universe, the die of Babylon spins in perpetuity, dictating the fate of all in time that is both infinitely long and infinitely short. Oh. Look, she closed her eyes. She respected the randomness of numbers and destiny. She respected the die's judgment. Otherwise, she would have acquaintly lost herself in the gaps of time and wandered forever as a ghost in oblivion. In the solemn prison hall, under the half-light of the next day, the prisoners of Kamala gather. This takes place in the past. Maybe they figured people still use die in the 90s. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, I mean, I think the word die and dice have been a thing for a long time. And, It's probably, I wonder what affects whether people say dice or die. And just a heads up, we will be taking a short break in less than 10 minutes, I would say. Octavia steps onto the podium with a stern expression. And when we take a ad break, I will take a break, and I won't keep going with the story until I'm back and everyone's back from ads.
First, allow me to make one thing clear. I had absolutely nothing to do with what happened to the Idealist yesterday. I swear it on my career as a writer. As you all know, the Idealist and I are the representatives of the two factions of La Sociedad de Poetas de las Américas. As you also know, we have been at peace since the Let Sleeping Dogs Lie agreement was signed a few months ago.
Ooh, did you see that? There was... Oh, yeah, there's glitching. There's glitching on the Let Sleeping Dogs Lie portion of the text right now. Oh. Daedalus says, I learned about the existence of use and usage dictionaries from an article I read many years ago. I learned more about prescriptivist versus descriptive language strategies than I ever intended. Ho ho! That sounds super interesting. That sounds like something I would dive into also. But I will hold myself back and continue reading this story in the game. But that's interesting. I will look that up later if I can be reminded of it. In fact, people, you should join my Discord. And then you can remind me of things you mentioned on stream that I said I would check out later. Hey! There's cute pictures of my pet rats! And you can get notified when I go live. That's what someone who had something to do with the idealist's death would say. I know, right? She's like, I definitely didn't do it. You're sounding really Nixon right now, Octavia.
Despite our differing views, we have coexisted to this day under the watchful gaze of the central tower. Rest assured that we will work tirelessly to locate the missing idealist.
Don't put so much pressure on yourself, Miss Octavia. His death wasn't your fault. After all, he was the one who threw the first verbal dagger.
The murmurs cascading below reached the ears of the prisoners from another faction.
Show some respect, you morons.
I want someone to clip that and make it a reaction. That's amazing. That line read was so good.
The idealist is missing, not dead. I'm sure he'll show up in one piece before we know it.
I love this.
Show some respect, you morons.
Someone needs to clip this.
Show some respect, you morons.
It's so good. I don't know. I just love it.
Better face the hard truth now, Roberta. Though, I have to say, it won't be easy for you to find a new leader as mad as him.
Oh, ho, 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 ho. A polite cough from the hostess pauses the heated debate.
Please, everyone, quiet down. According to the agreement, today's Congress should have been chaired by the idealist. Since he is still missing, I will be acting on his...
Pardon my lateness. Go ahead. I'm ready to moderate.
Is the Jaguar wearing shoes? Is the Jaguar wearing shoes? Am I the only one that asked this? Surely not. Other people have asked this, I'm sure. Unfamiliar footsteps break the regular pattern of events. The jailer leads her visitors to the entrance of the prison hall. Oh, okay. Okay. It's the real Mister here. Those were Verton's footsteps, probably.
Miss
And
Folie,
Sonetto.
I looked over the incarceration and visitor records from the past 6 months. There was no mention of anyone named Doris.
Then it seems only the physician knows the whereabouts of Dr. Dorez. Miss Jailer, we need to meet with the physician. It's important.
Listen, you really shouldn't take the inmates' ramblings too seriously.
Considering the identity of the person before her, the jailer softens her tone.
But if it's as critical as you say, I'll make another request later. That said, I'm afraid the meeting won't happen for at least a few days.
You'll make a request later?
Understood.
For now, please join us for today's Congress.
Espectacular! Do you hold literary salons like this every day? This place is practically a writer's paradise. So, you're the host of the salon, Octavia? I say we set aside our differences and have a titillating literary discussion.
Recoletta's like, yes, Writers Con!
You've come at the right time. You may serve as witnesses for the Congress alongside the jailer, like a citizen's jury in a court.
Your suggestion aligns with the congressional rules. Very well.
Congress? Witnesses? Isn't this a salon? Which topic are we discussing? Literary theories? Schools? Principles? Languages? Oh, narrative perspectives?
None of those.
Octavia lowers her head, giving her questioner a long and deep look.
This Congress is about the randomness of fate, Miss Recoleta.
Randomness of fate?
As she sinks into confusion and bewilderment, the jailer's voice rises into a triumphant introduction.
Dear visitors from the Foundation, allow me to introduce the Comala Congress. What happened yesterday was merely a brief anomaly. In the Panopticon, spontaneous order among the inmates is the norm, and the Comala Congress serves as its truest reflection.
Spontaneous order.
Spontaneous order?
Oh, yes, what Verton said.
Yes. Through the Congress, the inmates assign and distribute medication, communal duties, and rest periods. They are entirely self-regulated.
Her tone is filled with pride.
I hereby announce the commencement of the 7th Comala Congress.
As her words fall, Octavia takes out a worn lottery box and a small trinket from her hand. The prisoners move in perfect order like a swarm of ants.
A cardboard box and... is that a paper die? It has 20 sides.
Huh?
We carefully examine hidden patterns, much like an astute astrologer tracks the movements of the stars.
Isn't this...
From somewhere in the audience, the girl unconsciously mumbles a revelation.
Isn't this just like the Die of Babylon? The MacGuffin that weaves through the entire plot? The infinite symbiote of fate? And the symbol that compresses time into a shriveled circle?
Ha ha! Alright, I'm gonna stop here at this reveal point for a commercial break. That seems like the place they would put a commercial break if this was a TV show. So yeah, get up and stretch, use your restroom, hydrate and all that stuff. That's what I'm doing. You can do it too if you want. Let's meet back here in a few minutes. Be right back! Okay. Let's get back to it. The Die of Babylon.
What may seem like errors or accidents doesn't negate the verities of destiny.
Oh my gosh.
On the contrary, they affirm its very existence. Just ask the great Heraclito.
Oh my gosh. She said the thing. That's literally what was in Recoletta's book. This story is crazy weird.
In an unobserved universe, the die spins in perpetuity.
That's how you pronounce the word, perpetuity.
Dictating the fate of all in time that is both infinitely long and infinitely short?
Look, I've closed my eyes. I respect the randomness of numbers and destiny. I respect the die's judgment.
This is so good. This is so good. Oh my gosh. As the prisoners recite their announcements, the author's voice becomes more and more sluggish.
Otherwise, we will acquiescently lose ourselves in the gaps of time and wander forever as ghosts in oblivion.
I don't understand what's going on. Oh, but the irony that I probably have more idea what's going on than anyone here. Miss Recoleta, this is all in your novel, isn't it? I'm afraid so. The recitations, the references to an astrologer and Heraclito, they couldn't possibly be just a coincidence. Then, could it be? Will they look to the die to dictate their fate?
The girl's audible shock does not affect the proceedings on stage. The Congress continues. Daedalus says, remember that mispronunciation is often born from encountering the words whilst reading, therefore it's technically a sign of literacy. Oh, I guess that makes some sense. Ah. Yeah.
I shall perform the first roll. Its result will determine the subsequent roll order for this Congress.
The roll order. The hostess tosses the 20-sided die into the cardboard box and begins shaking it rhythmically.
Video just rated with 6 viewers.
This check complies with the prerequisite conditions of the ruling of the die, and the standard roll order has been established.
Decaf! Thank you so much for the raid! I shouted you out before, but I'm gonna do it again! Ha ha ha! Welcome, welcome, raiders! I hope you had a nice stream. What were you guys up to? You're just continuing on with Reverse 1999 up till the end there, looks like. I hope Lucidscape was fun. I still haven't checked it out yet. I was just so excited to jump into the story. Everybody make sure you take care of yourselves after your stream and everything. No obligation to hang out. Feel free to, like, lurk about here or whatever. Welcome, welcome, one and all. And in case you're new, I'm ShinyBot. I stream some Reverse 1999 and some Honkai Star Rail here and there, and other random games just to shake things up every once in a while, like some online mahjong or some survival games like Icarus, or maybe the odd indie game. Decaf says, I ran a little bit late. I finished the main story, did the Lucidscape, then I scrounged weekly tasks and friendship bonuses for Recoleta last minute. Uh-huh. I lost 50-50 to Pickles, but then got Recoleta at 0 pity! Congratulations! Ho ho! Saying Man of La Mancha and Your Reality as my ritual role. I know the first one, I don't know the second one. Dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. I'm Sancho, yes, I'm Sancho. Your reality is my reality. Ritual rule is from Doki Doki Literature Club. Oh. Is that the song that, just, what's her name? Not Matilda, not Michelle. Molly, just, Natsuki. It's not Natsuki. Just Monica. There we go. Monica. I was like, it's an M name. I know. I'm sure of it. Does Monica sing it at the end for the credits? Is that the song? I've only ever watched other people play that game. Never played it myself. Apparently, Recoleta is based on Don Quixote, among others. That makes some sense. I can see it. The feather in the hat, even. And it is the credit song. Aww. That's fun. Yes, if you like karaoke streams, Decaf does a karaoke stream every once in a while. Definitely fun to check out. I do a karaoke stream once a year. I did mine last month, and I think, yeah, you can go to my YouTube channel to check that one out if you want. And it actually is still up there. I can't monetize it, but I didn't have to cut out as much as I thought. Birthday karaoke, that's right. So we are basically midway through part 10 of the new story, and they've just started the, I don't know, like the 6th Komala Congress or something, and they all started saying things that Recoleta had already written in her book, and it's very creepy. Alright, so Octavia says... Oh, this roll will determine the subsequent roll order for the Congress. The result is 5. This check complies with the prerequisite conditions of the ruling of the die, and the standard roll order has been established.
Inmate Jose, please come forth. You are the first in the initiative order. Therefore, fate's judgment shall fall upon you before all else.
Me? Okay.
The prisoner steps forward, taking the fragile box in his hands, shaking it to roll the die of absurd fate inside. The die stops, and just like that, a simple number decides his fate.
17! It's 17! Ah, what a wonderful number! 17! Like an oasis in an endless desert.
Oh. The main story is so good, it takes a minute for things to make sense, but once it gets going, it goes. Yeah. I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed. Sadly, I cannot stay. I had to wake up extra early today to clear my things from work, so falling over. Please do rest. Otsukare-sama, Decaf. Get some rest and stuff. Adrenaline leaving body. I get that feeling. Yep, take care. Thanks for the raid.
The result is 17, and the score combination 6 plus 4 plus 4 plus 3. According to the ruling of the die, he shall receive 60 risperidone tablets, 40 clozapine tablets, and 40 diazepam tablets. Additionally, he will assume the role of cultural manager of the Komala Congress.
And no problem for the shoutouts. We're shouting out like crazy here. Someone called 37, they're doing math over here. I know, she would be so excited.
Before he takes office, inmate Jose must clean the first restroom for the next 7 days.
Wonderful! I'll gladly clean the toilet. I've got the brooms here, the toilet detergent, oh, and the toilet brush too. I have been waiting for this opportunity. As cultural manager, I will speak with every inmate and complete the Comala memoir, finally capturing the moments when literary sparks ignite and explode.
The Comala memoir.
Next is inmate Eduardo. Please come forth.
The man in question is a nervous mess. His gaze flickers, his eyebrows fight for space on his forehead, and his teeth clash against each other in turmoil.
But I can't remember the ruling of the die. I can't remember anything. Damn it. Sorry, Senora Octavia, but I don't think I can do this. I didn't get any medication in the last Congress. I've had multiple episodes. It's like my brain's jammed or something.
I suddenly just was reminded of a movie called The Platform. I don't know if anyone's ever seen it. I haven't. But I was very intrigued by the movie. It looked a little too intense for me to actually watch it myself. But... Did I say blut? But... let's see. The Platform is like... It's a prison setting movie. And the places where people stay in this prison are basically on various levels in a huge tower. And in the very center of the tower is a platform that goes through a hole that goes throughout the entire tower. And your room is just around the hole. And the platform starts at the top of the tower and goes to the bottom of the tower to each of the levels that each level has like 2 inmates, I guess. And there's a bunch of food on it for each person on each level. And it's like when the platform starts at the very top of the tower, there's a bunch of food on it, and it's lots of gourmet food, and it's incredible. And then as it lowers through the rest of the prison, there's less and less food on it, and there's no way of regulating how much food goes to each prisoner or each inmate and stuff. And your place in the tower changes randomly every month. So every month, like, you might be at level 49 and you're living the high life, and then you might be on level 6 and you get almost nothing when the platform gets to you with the food, and there's like barely any food and there's a bunch of poop on it or something. So yeah, go to sleep, Decaf. But yeah, very societal commentary kind of based thing. Oh yeah, don't tell Merlin, he might try that out next. I know, right? That feels right up his alley, it would seem. Yeah, came out in 2019, and I believe was actually, guess what? A Spanish film! Ooh. I wonder if Reverse 1999 writers just watch all the movies all the time and were inspired by the platform a little bit. So, like, this inmate, like, it's almost like in the movie The Platform, you might have a really terrible month because you're on a lower level and you barely get any food. And then, like, can you get through it? You know, can you survive to the next month and hope to get a better level? There was a real panopticon in Cuba, by the way. What even is a panopticon? Panopticon. It is a circular penitentiary building. The concept is to allow all prisoners of an institution to be observed by a single prison officer without the inmates knowing whether or not they are being watched. Okay. They cannot know if they're being watched. Right. It's effectively compelled. It compels them to self-regulation. Right. And the guy who thought this up was an English philosopher and social theorist named Jeremy Bentham in the 18th century. Creepy. Creepy. I hate the... Yeah, it's all about, what's it? Surveillance. It's about surveillance culture and teaching people that they're being watched at all times, basically. So that it's not just about being watched for reals. It's also about being taught to assume that you are being watched and like the psychological torture of it, kind of. Oh, hey, they mentioned Folie. Uh-huh. In 1975, Folie used the panopticon as a metaphor for the modern disciplinary society in Discipline and Punish. Which I will not attempt to pronounce. Uh-huh. The star shapes depicted were how some American prisons were built for a time. Right. Man, this stuff is so creepy. It's so creepy, it messes me up. It's not cool. I am on the idealist side. Shirley Robin Letwin, an American academic who lived in London, argued that Bentham's pet gadget, the Panopticon prison, was a device of such monstrous efficiency that it left no room for humanity. She accused Bentham of forgetting the dangers of unrestrained power and argued that, in his ardor for reform, Bentham prepared the way for what he feared. This story is so good because I love stories, especially ones like these that are really looking hard at our real life.
You've made Eduardo. It's easy. You don't need to know the rules to roll the die. Give me your hand. I'll help you.
Ugh. Gives me the heebie-jeebies. Heebie-jeebies. The prisoner follows suit, hands trembling as he shakes the box. The only thing he can do. There's no choice involved whatsoever. It's all chosen by the die.
The die dictates that you must voluntarily descend into the sewers and write the thematic keyword that currently causes you the most anxiety on the walls.
Why? Like, it's so stupid. Why are we making these people do this? What's the point? It's so... Oh, it's so messed up.
Thank you very much, Miss Octavia. I think my head's about
He just finished a stint without the medicine he needs, and now he has to go down and deal with probably the worst result of the die.
And fulfill my destiny.
Oh. This is such a good story. Clutching his head, the prisoner leaves, his steps heavy, his hands empty, but his brow finally falling at ease. Yeah. Probably. It's better to know what the outcome of the die is than to be waiting in suspense over it, perhaps.
Jailer, are you really letting them make every decision with the roll of a die? Eduardo is clearly in a much more dire condition than Jose. The medication should have been given to him.
As I said, this is how the inmates of the Panopticon maintain order. The physician periodically provides medication, food, and other necessities, and the inmates distribute them in this spontaneous and efficient manner.
Spontaneous, yes. Efficient?
Neither authority nor violence is involved in this process.
It is absolutely violent.
This is what sets Kamala apart from all other custodial
It's
facilities.
absolutely violent. 100% violent.
Is that it? You abdicate all agency to the role of a paper die and call it the randomness of fate? What kind of sick joke is this?
Please calm down, Recoleta. This is the method that the inmates have collectively decided to recognize. They're prepared to face the possible sacrifices that it brings. This isn't about you or me. It's not our place to interfere with a procedure that has been proven both pragmatic and effective.
Julian says, I would say nobody's being physically violent, but also they beat up Pablo 2 chapters ago, so LMFAO. I know, right? And I also would consider it to be, I don't know what the term is, but like, you are forced to enact violence on yourself. Like that last inmate was given the result of 1 on the die, and so he's been told to go down and basically he's in solitary confinement, right? So he's being told to go into solitary confinement, and I consider that to be violence because there is no other option for him. It is required of him, and if he were to say, no, I don't want to be in solitary confinement, he faces violence. It's potential violence, I guess, is what I would say.
My duty is to assist the inmates in maintaining order through the methods that they have established. And yours is to witness their self-governance, not judge it.
Their physical integrity is being attacked, that's right. And like the fact that withholding medicine is also definitely a type of violence. The jailer takes a deep breath. Her words clearly meant to convince herself as much as anyone listening. Uh-huh.
If everything somehow unfolds as it does in my novel, then every role is already predetermined.
Not physical violence, but a cultural one? I think withholding medicine is still a physical violence. Yeah, the horror of the panopticon is the fear of authority being almost enslaving, I guess. You just don't know whether you're being watched or not, so you are forced to be... You are... It's like you're under gunpoint all day long.
Verton, do you remember the story I told you last night? The odds of both success and failure were consecutively multiplied.
The odds of both success and failure were consecutively multiplied. Oh.
I remember.
I forgot about that part.
As soon as a character experiences a failure, they continue to suffer failures in an endless chain reaction.
Oh.
None of Eduardo's future dice rolls will ever result in a number higher than 10.
Oh?
At this rate, this system, this sociedad, ruled by the dice of Babylon, is bound to collapse.
This one, I feel like, is especially, like, 100% a metaphor for capitalism.
None of Eduardo's future dice rolls will ever result in a number higher than 10.
Once you've rolled the die and, like, you have a bad result, you're more likely to have another bad result after that, another bad result, and another bad result. She looks around, realizing that her words, weighty as they seem to her, have garnered no attention.
Eduardo will never receive any medication. The moment he writes the keyword on the wall could very well be the moment he spells out his own death.
Mm-hmm.
I can't let this happen. I have to do something.
Recoleta rushes to the stage.
Wait, Miss Recoleta, what are you doing?
This is currently my favorite main story chapter. It is that good. Like, wow. What should I get first? I'll get the music. Yeah. Let's do this one, because we haven't done this in a while.
The idea of taking orders from an accursed die. A skilled commander would never rely on luck to make decisions. On the battlefield,
The distance for every maneuver should be clear and precise, not two numbers with a D in the middle. Unless you're looking to invite a mutiny. That said, if a die with such power were placed in a soldier's hand...
Did he just call Igor unskilled? Oh, did Igor use a die? Or did I miss something in what the narrator was saying here?
I'm pretty sure they'd roll it and let it decide their destiny. Exactly. There's no good luck without bad luck. Just as a coin must have two sides. Luck essentially defines one's entire life. And whether it's make or break, life or death, the die will keep on rolling. Of course, dice aren't the only tools used to play with fate. Coins, lotteries, even shells on the beach can all serve the same purpose.
In the previous chapter, he used a die. Igor did? Did Igor... Oh, in chapter 8. Right. He used a die. Oh. He had a big cutscene about believing Arcana was alive. Oh. He could only roll ones in a triangle around Arcana's dust? Oh my gosh. I can't remember anything. Oh no. Goodness gracious. I feel like my brain is just having a rough time. But I'm glad that chat is here to remind me of things. Ho ho ho.
Thanks to the randomness of fate, a Babylonian may rise to be a proconsul one day and fall into slavery the next.
I wonder what proconsul means. It probably means something that's the opposite of a slave. An official of ancient Rome who acted on behalf of a consul. Okay. Igor Ara farming. Some tragedies could have been avoided.
That's where historians come in. With a little creative editing of the history books, even the random rolls of a die can suddenly make sense.
Ooh, there's something. There's a take.
What were once avoidable tragedies are rebranded as reasonable incidents.
Ooh.
Or even desirable outcomes.
Oh my gosh. Narrator is spitting. Ooh. Oh boy. Isn't that the truth? Oh. At least the roll of a die is impartial.
You're starting to sound like a gambler.
Killian says, yeah, I don't know what they fed Grandpa this chapter, but he's almost starting to make sense. I know, right? So it catches me off guard when I start to understand him.
But even gamblers, after hitting a hot streak or a losing spell, start to convince themselves that they've figured out the grand pattern behind games of chance.
This might be unrelated, but I heard a rumor that someone had done some math and stuff, and like hacked the game or something for Infinity Nikki and found that drop rates were different for the different clothing pieces to make it so that it would take longer to get the dress piece of a full outfit. Crazy if true. That's all I gotta say. Daedala, I've become accustomed and charmed by this game's numerous plot holes and contrivances, but Recoleta saying that the Aztecs had the die of Babylon gave me whiplash. Is the Infinity Nikki situation still not back to normal? It is not. They are continuing to just move forward as if everything is fine except for bugs that they're working really hard on. They're working really hard on those bugs. And to their credit, they are, you know, releasing huge lists of bug fixes all the time. But that's not the only thing that us players had a problem with, you know? they're sticking with everything that they changed about the game on that version launch. They're just like, yep, that's the version, and we're not taking anything back. Sucks. I am still girl cutting it, and I finally ran out on the month daily login thing that I bought for $5. So now I literally have no reason to log in. Until they, like, do something to change it. It's only a bug if it wasn't planned. Yeah, some things they're fixing, the players are like, why is that a bug? That was just a thing that was in the game, and then you noticed that we were taking advantage of it, and now you made it so that it's different than what it was before. That's stupid.
It isn't just gamblers either. Witches tried to influence fate through rituals and charms. Ancient mathematicians calculated probabilities on paper. Some even wrote books on game theory.
Game theory!
Meanwhile, others suspected there were cheaters among them. I just hope these high rollers unite to confront the demon who holds the laws of the universe. The past, present, and future in its claws, and give it a well done and a slap in the face.
You're talking in circles today.
Haven't I always? It's just that today, the die rolled a peculiar number.
He admitted it! I hope Door is forever classified as Arcanist. There's nothing to be fixed, never change. Oh, Door is an Arcanist, not an Awakened? That is wild.
But all things considered, I prefer the other kind of commander.
Maybe Door is a ghost, the way Click is a ghost or something? I don't know.
The die is cast. But regardless of what number has been rolled, it's time to cross the river.
Cross the river? Are you talking about crossing the river Styx? To death? To Hades? Ooh. I'm gonna look at the atlas, since y'all mentioned it. Oh yeah, and I get the new music now. Yay! Let's see what Arcanists we've got. A Knight, Arcanist. I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense. Right? Maybe? Pickles is an Arcanist. That's fair. Living being and all that. He's a ghost instead of the actual armor. Right. That does seem fair. Ulu is an Arcanist. That seems fair to me. Yep, checks out. TTT is an Arcanist. Maybe also a spirit. Poltergeist spirit. Rabies is a Arcanist. We're getting a little bit into weird territory here, but okay. Darley Clatter is an Arcanist. And Door is an Arcanist. And then Awakened. Yep. Oh, is White Rum... Wait. She's not the TV, she's inside it, just like White Rum. But White Rum is an Awakened, so... Oh, game. You make no sense. Wait, oh, there's also Mixed. Oh, Mixed. We always exist in every aspect, everywhere. Okay, so... Zhou Nyangzi... Flutter Page? Joe? Satsuki? Pavia. Barbara is because Barbara had a sheep mother and 2 human mothers. I feel like. Pavia is mixed. I don't know what that means. Huh. Infected vampire. humans. Hey! Ooh, maybe that's a spoiler. I shouldn't have looked at that. Oop. It was in the game. Whatever. The Beyond. We've got a succubus, 2 aliens. Well, 1 alien, 1 spaceship, and a centaur. Okay. We all know what that silhouette is, yeah. If you read Barbara's background, they make it sound impossibly hard to have mixed arcanist. All I know is that she mentioned she has a sheep mother and human mothers. When, from her voice lines. Alright, let's see what this star is all about. The transformation of quantity into quality is the greatest realization of the method of exhaustion. We got December 1st, 3rd, and 7th. December 1st, and there's a bunch of numbers also. Each person is uniformly allocated 1 dose of chlorpromazine and 1 dose of thalidomide. And December 3rd, each person is uniformly allocated 3 doses of chlorpromazine and 3 doses of thalidomide. December 7th, such and such and such. 11 doses of Veronal. No, it's a secret. Other characters, don't worry about it. It's a secret. Other character, don't worry about it, right? Okay. We'll see if I can do this part 11, before the next ad in 20 minutes. Let's see. On the stage, Octavia remains the picture of serenity as she orchestrates the Congress.
Miss Recoleta, as a witness to the Congress, you have the right to express your doubts calmly.
Tone police! Tone police! She recalls the complaints of her 2 former companions, the jailer's dismissals, and the confused expressions of every editor she has ever faced. Aww. Daedalus says, a donkey on a journey of 10,000 miles will not return a horse, but a spacecraft jettisoned out of the solar system will return an anime maid. If she were to lay out every detail of her novel here and now, she would only get the same response.
No, it's nothing. It's just that I'd like to participate in the dice rolling ceremony. May I?
What do you do if you get the same number twice?
Of course. The very fact that you're standing here in the Panopticon proves that you share a common fate with it.
Try to roll a 1 and give that other inmate some company. Recoleta surveys the prisoners waiting to cast their die. Their expressions are serene, untroubled, calmly awaiting their fate. The joys and misfortunes of those before them do not affect the long, winding queue in the slightest. She takes a deep breath.
It doesn't matter when I roll the die, since the rolls are simply a reflection of the randomness of fate, right?
When you roll the die?
Precisely.
Then I'd like to perform my role after the 27th inmate. Is that alright?
Oh, maybe she knows because she wrote the book. Shout out to Carl Sagan's Pale Blue Dot. Okay, that's a reference to Carl Sagan. Man. So, one of my favorite movies of all time is Contact, which started as a screenplay by Carl Sagan, and then he turned it into a book, and then later on, director Zemeckis made it into a movie in 1997, and it's super good. At least I think it's very, very good. It's very, yeah, it's emotional at the end also. Pale Blue Dot is a 3 or 4 minute audio clip. Okay. Oh. He has a very spiritual way of talking about space and physics and things. It's so cool.
As you wish, Miss Recoleta.
Okay, let's fight, I guess. And we get Recoleta. I'm supposed to use Melania, right?
Wait, give me 10 more minutes.
Throw pickles in there, why not?
Nothing unexpected. Fun.
A small game that examines your luck. Roll the dice every round. Different numbers cause different effects. Nothing happens. Okay. 10 health for each of these. All damage taken set to 1. I should have brought an extra whatever team.
Show's on, Hal. Más allá del concepto mundano del tiempo. Plan A. Time waits for no.
I got her at pity 15, so now she's my best friend. Ooh, congratulations.
Huh, a truly villainous moment.
Oh, that's right. They're immune to all statuses. Oh well. I should have brought an extra attack team. Oh well. Mass attack. Okay.
In todos los handy.
The puppy agreed with your decision.
Nuestro adversario es el tiempo.
Sorry, I think I'm bumping the mic. It's the 4th character I get in 40 rolls. I'm going to never win a 50-50 ever again, I think. The 4th, like, 6-star character? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Sometimes these games can be a little bit crazy.
Más allá del concepto mundano del tiempo.
The last time they could get the Voyager spun around, Sagan asked for the camera to be turned around to take a picture of Earth. The soliloquy that he produced for it is known as the pale blue dot. Okay, so it's based on that photograph from Voyager. That's so neat. I like that a lot.
In todos los handy.
The puppy agreed with your decision.
Mis aliados la verdad. Más allá de todos los momentos. Idealismo. Vuelos de fantasía. Do I have to do this?
Alright, let's see Recoleta's ult. Or not. I guess the fight's done. Never mind.
Warning, warning. The puppy is fleeing the scene at its maximum speed.
It seems fate favors you, Miss Recoleta. Here are your supplies.
She's gonna give them to the other
Please
inmates.
be sure to follow the distribution rules of the Congress. This is an essential structure of Comala, and a belief shared by all its inmates. Honor it.
Just as I suspected. These supplies belong to me now, Octavia. I'm free to use them however I please.
Recoleta strides toward Eduardo, who has curled up in a distant corner, clutching his head as his body trembles in silence.
Here, Eduardo. Take them.
But I haven't fulfilled my destiny yet.
Giving meds to someone who doesn't need them is also kind of crazy. Like, I'm sure they are not all on the same thing. I know! Like, so you give the meds to an inmate or someone in Comala who does not need them, and they're not allowed to give it to someone else. It's like, okay, so you're wasting the resources given by the physician. It's not only is it cruel, it's also stupid. Oftentimes, cruelty and stupidity are the same sides of are sides of the same coin. I got Flutterpage, Barcarola, Calabona, Fatutu, and Noir in 50 pulls. Oh my gosh.
These precious tablets and capsules. I can't accept them. They are gifts from fate. The die has placed them in your palm.
But I don't need them. You do.
Thank you, kind senorita.
The prisoner's trembling stops. He blankly pinches his arm as if trying to distinguish reality from a dream. Then all at once he snatches the medication from her hands and shoves it into his mouth.
Eduardo, what's wrong? Are you taking the medicine right now? There's no need to rush. There's plenty of it. You can have it all.
Por Dios, Eduardo. How could you squander fate's gifts like this? Kind señorita, please, give me the medication. I need it more than anyone else.
No, I'm the one who needs the most. Give me the medication. I beg of you. With the protection of these amulets, I might finally be able to get a peaceful night's sleep. No more trembling floors and wailing ghosts.
Ooh, there's more glitching text. Amulets is glitching right now. The prisoners shove and struggle, countless hands reaching toward the hapless writer, trying to snatch the small round pills of salvation.
Enough! Enough!
And now they're gonna blame her. A blue glow spreads through the room, forcing the prisoners to clutch their heads and fall down to their knees. Their riot comes to an abrupt halt.
You shouldn't have done that, Miss Recoleta. Your ignorant generosity could shatter the very basis of our survival.
She steps toward Eduardo, now writhing in pain, and picks up a few stray capsules scattered at his feet. The pills dissolve into a stream of voided sand, vanishing as it pours through her fingers. She's just pouring out... Goodness gracious.
We have never had such chaos at the Congress. Understand this. We rely only on the randomness of fate to distribute supplies and assign responsibilities.
That means that you have medicine going to waste.
If you disrupt the status quo, the entire system of the Panopticon will collapse beyond repair. It is only by respecting the arbitrariness of fate and adhering to the rules of the Die of Babylon that we have kept this place functioning all this time.
The Die of Babylon? Tell me, how did you know this name? Are you the one orchestrating this whole thing?
Recoleta, equally confused and furious, grabs the hostess's collar.
¿Podría ser? ¿Eres Aleph? ¿Tal como sospechaba Verdun?
Let go of me, Miss Recoleta. Have you gone mad? The roll of the die is absolutely random. I'm not orchestrating anything. Before the Congress began, I made an oath. I intend to keep it.
Please, calm down, Miss Recoleta. I think she's telling the truth.
She lets go of her grip as the reality of their situation dawns on her.
Sorry, Octavia, but please, you have to tell me how you learned about the Die of Babylon. I must know. Only my pen pal and I should have any knowledge about this die.
I heard about it from the physician. He described it as a symbol of collective consciousness that we could harness to maintain immaculate order in the Panopticon. The Comala Congress was coined, iterated, and perfected by the physician based on this concept.
Daedalus says, I'm in an okay spot with around 257 pulls saved right now. Problem is I see no skips on the horizon. Yeah. Hopefully my apathy for the AC franchise holds firm. Yeah, we haven't even seen what those characters are going to look like. Chameleon says, I have 10 pulls in a dream. Oh my gosh. You know, well, we will get more free pulls at the very least, but yeah, it's real rough out here. There's just so many good 6-star characters.
The physician again. Everything eventually leads back to him. Just as we suspected.
I see.
Recoleta casts her eyes over the silent jaguar, who has remained wordless from beginning to end, watching it all unfold. Screw you!
Jailer, we have to meet with the physician in person. Now.
As I've told you many times, Dr. Merlin is too busy at the moment. I couldn't possibly trouble him over a novel and a pen pal. They are just fantasies.
Couldn't you make an exception? What if they're not just fantasies? What if they're tied to the very survival of this place? Miss Recoleta said the Panopticon could collapse because of the Die of Babylon.
Are you seriously telling me you believe that nonsense?
It wasn't nonsense, nor are they fantasies. You saw with your own eyes how I won the die roll.
It was just a coincidence.
The jailer's words are at odds with the subtle motions of her eyes and face. The Foundation's investigators seize on a prime opportunity to apply pressure.
What if we present you with stronger evidence? To prove it's more than just a coincidence. If everything in the Panopticon proceeds according to Miss Recoleta's novel as she says, she should be able to predict what happens next, including the roll results of the absolutely random die.
That's right. The Die of Babylon isn't random at all. It's nothing but a supercilious fraud veiled under the guise of fate, and an actor of the inescapable loop of history, and...
Supercilious fraud is glitching out. Die of Babylon is glitching out.
And not one of you is paying attention to me whatsoever. Ugh, to hell with this era of ignoring unknown writers.
Miss Recoleta, please make your prediction for the next inmate's die roll. This way, you can prove to Miss Jailer the irrefutable connection between Kamala and your novel, The Rise and Fall of Sanity.
You finally remembered its name! Oh, what sweet balm to my spirit!
Aww.
Miss Octavia, please continue the Congress and let the next inmate perform their role. Then Miss Recoleta's statement will be proven true.
The hostess of the Congress remains non-committal.
I appreciate the reminder. No matter the interruption, the Comala Congress must go on. Though not for Miss Recoleta's sake, of course. Next inmate, please.
Following the die's designated order, the next prisoner steps forward to roll. Sorry, there's some sirens in the background.
Hello, Inmate Garcia. You know what to do.
Of course.
La sexta cara. Un pilar roto. El flujo de la fortuna y la calamidad. So the results of the next roll will be a 6.
Her prophetic precision plunges the Hall of New Encounters into breathless silence.
As fate reveals, the number is 6.
Just as Miss Recoleta predicted.
That could still be a coincidence. Do it again.
La 13ª cara. Una cadencia desconcertante, sin un verdadero principio ni fin. La 4ª cara. Un hombre que se ahogaba usó el último de sus fuerzas para nadar a la seguridad, solo para descubrir que había confundido un espejo con la superficie del agua. La 17ª cara cojeaba hacia el distante oasis.
Wow, they're still going?
La débil humedad y la inquietante quietud revelaran cruelmente que la 6ª cara, otro pilar roto con grietas idénticas a la última, confirmó la hipótesis de la investigadora de paracausalidad. Este lugar solía ser un edificio circular. Is that enough? I've almost finished the entire chapter.
It's not possible.
One coincidence after another begins to stir into an uproar. The coincidences appear endless.
Who are
are you?
I'm sorry if this comes as a shock to you, but I did warn you, Octavia. Now it's proven. The Die of Babylon is anything but the so-called randomness of fate.
Have you been sent here by some god? Or are you a hobby prophet? Have you brought this knowledge to save us? Or to shatter our beliefs? Our world?
A question destined never to need an answer. She lets her eyes fall into the cardboard box and onto the 20-sided die. The ridiculousness of its nature becomes starkly visible.
What is this thing in my hand? What are we? What is this prison?
I don't know if it's some kind of sorcery or arcane skill, but it's unfathomable. I'll take you to the physician. Not because of your earlier request, but because the situation has escalated beyond my means.
Sure.
The overseer of the Panopticon will decide how to handle your situation.
To be honest, Miss Recoleta, I wasn't sure you'd be able to correctly predict everything.
Timekeeper, are you saying that you risked everything on a hunch?
It worked, didn't it?
Come with me. Dr. Merlin's office is in the central tower.
For her part, the now vindicated writer follows at the end of the line, letting her mind race like a bullet train.
En la sexta versión de mi novela, todos en el pueblo mueren a causa del dado de Babilonia.
In the 6th version of my novel, everyone in the town dies because of the Die of Babylon, for only death can close the loop of history.
Y carcelero,
And jailer, you're the bank clerk, right?
Entonces, al final,
so in the end, will you also have a meltdown like the bank clerk does, when he realizes that he and the Dune Piscator are the same person? Ooh.
If all of this is tied to the rise and fall of sanity, then, as its creator, I will get to the bottom of this.
Ooh, boy. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, once again, I just don't know what else to say beyond I love this story and it's very, very good and I want to keep going. That's all I have to say. It looks like there is another mini side story to do. We're gonna go ahead and run another 3-minute ad before I dive into that. Ooh, looks like I got something here. Good, good. And, okay, not quite enough to get the next Xenologue. Anyway, yes, we're going to take a break here for just 3 minutes for ads. I'm going to get up and stretch, use the restroom, get something to drink. Recommend you all do the same. Let's meet back here after the ads in just a few minutes. All right? Be right back. I forgot that I have a little trans flag here. I kind of like it. I thought it was just gonna be for the start screen. Oh, I remember. I think it was for Trans Day of Visibility. That's what it was. Honestly, I'm just gonna keep using it because gosh darn it, do we need it here in the US. Make it a little smaller. Put it right over here. Testing, testing as I bounce up and down and talk. Yay! I have so many flags. We have all of the flags. Awesome. I love it. Oh, good, good, good. Let's see here. Right back at ya. Okay, it is time. Ads are done. I am back. Let's check out Volume 5 of The Weaving of Shadows. And the whole thing with what Dr. Doris was up to. The boundary shatters and an astrologer glimpses an unspeakable truth. The Weaver! I get it now. It's the Blind Weaver. And it's the weave. Thank you so much. Alright. After that, I attended several more literary salons, and wrote things I had never dared write before. Miss Octavia, however, never made an appearance. I didn't see her for quite some time. That was until I followed some prisoners to a large hall, and heard her voice among a group of unfamiliar inmates. She noticed me and greeted me warmly. She told me she had been working on some new initiatives. She told me of her hopes to gather more support, to improve conditions in the prison, and initiate a spiritual shift toward realism and resistance. I truly believed back then that everything was heading in the right direction. Before all eyes, the host of the assembly, the idealist, steps up to the podium. By the randomness of fate, we have gathered here to participate in the Komala Congress. Before the eyes of destiny, historians, and astrologers alike, I now declare a new rule amendment. A duel before the crowd of eager eyes. The winner awarded 10 pounds of gold, and the loser left with 10 flies to descend upon him. Have we heard that before? That sounds really familiar. Before the Komala Congress convenes, we shall assign 2 members of La Sociedad this noble mission. A duel decreed by fate. Doris hears the faint click of a small object rattling inside a box. Jose, Julio, step forward and draw the sharpest blade of your literary thought. According to the rules, I will preside over this duel with fairness and impartiality. Now, prepare yourselves. The absurd, fictional, metaphysical duel ends within a fraction of a second. The victorious prisoner receives 10 shining golden pills, while the loser collapses to the floor. The crowd erupts into chaos, Octavia's cries rising above the noise.
What's going on?
Mr. Julio, he's having another seizure.
Miss Erd, please, Julio needs your help.
Octavia, you know this is all part of the randomness of fate. The randomness? Fate? She doesn't argue back as she usually would. Instead, she stands frozen in place, as if stunned. What's the matter, Ms. Octavia? This is an emergency. I require your assistance. Answer me, Octavia. Why are you trying to change Julio's fate? Because no one should die like this.
I don't want him to die.
Please, Miss Octavia, help me so I can help him.
Her voice cracks, leaving only the sound of her stifled sobs lingering in the air. What's wrong, Miss Octavia? How is his condition now? Miss Octavia. She remains silent. After a long pause, she casts the heavy stone into the bottomless water. Miss Erd.
Mr. Julio is gone. He left us the moment the duel was over.
How could that be? Seizures can potentially lead to irreversible brain damage, but how could it happen so fast? Octavia Bannerwen. Oh. Yeah. I want to see more of her character. But that could be interesting. A precious life gone so quickly, swept away by something so senseless, lost in a nonsensical duel. What exactly is this so-called Congress? Some kind of punitive system unique to Komala Prison? But how can someone's life be decided by something so absurd? Are we simply meant to surrender to a fate so twisted, no matter how absurd it is? Is it so refutable? This isn't the fate I seek. It's a distortion of it. It's my fault for not finding a better way. I used to think Mr. Julio didn't care about anything but his own novels. I never imagined my ideals would mean anything to him. But he was the first person in La Sociedad to support me. But that really was an irreversible fate. Fate granted to Mr. Julio by the Die of Babylon. The Die of Babylon? Her question is left unanswered. The host of the salon goes on. Julio has stepped off the endless staircase and reached the silent water. He has become a calm water, dissolved into his own pond. Let us offer our blessings, our silence, our farewell to this martyr of fate. I don't know about the idealist right now. And let us imagine that Julio's literary career was a happy one. Chameleon says, then you proceeded to still not find a better way, but I appreciate that you tried. Yeah. The hall remains deathly silent. No applause. No response.
A life is taken, and that's all you have to say?
You really don't care whether we live or die, do you, idealist? And all of you? Don't any of you have anything to say? Why are you all just standing there? If we hadn't kept rejecting the physician's treatment, maybe Mr. Julio wouldn't have Rejecting? How ridiculous. You have no clue what that demon in human skin is capable of. How he'll reach into your mind and mold it like clay, reshaping it until it becomes your prison. In the realm of fiction, fate, unreality, the dissolution of the ego is inevitable and irreversible. Therefore, we must not resist the ending dealt to us by the die of Babylon. I find this kind of strange. I didn't peg the idealist as being someone who would accept ego death. Like ego, you know, oh, ego's gonna go away. I mean, yeah. Maybe that idealist is kind of like that revolutionary, charismatic leader who wants to rebel against the system and wants the individual to disappear, kind of thing. That's why he's the idealist and not, like, going by a name. Charismatic? Well, I mean, he's, like, charismatic as in, you know, he's loud, and he has a distinct voice, and he is preaching to this crowd of people, and they're all following him. He does yap a lot, it's true. Do you even know what you're talking about? I've never truly understood you, idealist. I will find a better way. I must rewrite this tragic tale. If you disagree, then leave La Sociedad. I will not have our great poem disrupted by an offbeat syllable. Besides, your tedious talk of social responsibility should have been purged long ago. Modern Latin America belongs to visceral realism, and you're too ignorant to even attempt to seek it out. Chameleon says, I think his ideals are more important than the individuals to him. Right. It seems surprising because he defended Pablo, but it seems it wasn't simply because he had empathy for him. Right, yeah. It's because Pablo was going to be going to the physician that he defended Pablo. More like.
What a ridiculous, laughable man you are.
Yes, I see it clearly now. It's your tyranny that has driven everyone to ruin. Well, let me tell you something. I'm not leaving. I will establish a new literary movement right here in Comala, right here in La Sociedad de Poetas de las Americas. And we will use our literature to rescue the inmates who suffer all around us.
I've had enough of your condescending stone-hearted ego and your pompous sophistry. He'll only bring misfortune upon us with his constant rambling about that visceral realism.
I hope I never see you again. Ms. Erd, we have to get you out of here. Another second around this maniac might just doom us all.
Only the physician, the true overseer of this prison, can save us from this situation. Please join our society, Miss Torres.
Help us build a renewed Sociedad de Poetas together. I've already spoken with the jailer. As long as we follow the rules and help them manage Comala, we'll be free to discuss literature.
Forgive me, Miss Octavia. While I truly appreciate your kind offer, I'm afraid my conversation with the physician must remain private.
Why? Please answer me this question first. From what you've seen, you'd say this prison is circular in shape, yes?
Yes.
Then tell me, at the center of this structure, is there a watchtower? What? Impossible. You guessed it exactly. And our destination is somewhere inside that watchtower. How did you know?
I've had such a lovely time here. So much so that I almost forgot what I came for.
Oh, she's had a nice time at the prison. Okay. Which is precisely why I must put an end to this cruel farce masquerading as fate. Ooh. What's Dr. Doris going to do? Do you intend to rebel against the Watchtower's gaze, just like the Idealist? You misunderstand me, Ms. Octavia.
That inescapable gaze, and the permanent theme of fate.
To get closer to the truth I seek, I have no choice but to meet the administrator that young lady spoke of.
You've decided to save the people here with your own hands, in your own way, and so have I. There are things I must face alone.
Though she is well used to death, the pain of Julio's passing still lingers in her heart, causing her to say these words that don't quite feel like herself. Interesting.
I see. Lend me your palm. I'll draw you the way to his office. Good luck to you. And to all of us.
Daedalus says, I wonder if the writer of this chapter finished reading Brave New World and imagined what the resulting societal structure might be like. I don't really know what the novel Brave New World is like. I just know... Oh, I guess that's... No, I'm thinking of something else.
Farewell, Miss Octavia. I truly hope all goes well for you in the days ahead.
As Octavia retreats, slowly fading into the distance, she quietly adds,
And in your journey, finding answers about fate, too.
I'm gonna turn down the music, because man was it loud. Even though I like the music. Another achievement. Okay, we are blazing through this. I see no reason not to continue on into part 12. Alrighty. Let's do this. Behind the operating curtain. Alrighty. Oh, this is getting good. I mean, it's been good this whole time, but it continues to be good. I'm just so amazed. What disrupted this era? What unraveled time? The shadow lurking in the ruins answers. Madness. Oh, and I just realized, yet again, we've got the dates underneath each of the parts. It's really hard to see if you're looking at this on your phone, but under each of the parts it says 323 and then a time. Part 9 is 322. Same thing with 8 and 7 and 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So March 22nd for most of this. And part 10 was March 23rd. Yep, they are all in the main story chapters. Yeah, I totally forgot they were there until I noticed them again. I remember using those as a reference when we were going through chapter 7 back when that came out. Central Tower waiting area. An otherwise tidy room is covered in fine scratches and small, unidentifiable stains. The smell of disinfectant lingers in the air, mixed with mildew. Ronan's here! Hello! Good evening. How is the story? I haven't started yet, but I did see the trailer. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having an okay day. Love your emotes as always, Ronin Otaku Knight. Aww. Yeah, we are on part 11, so we, I think, just crossed past the halfway mark. So there's gonna be spoilers for the story, just as a warning. But I will say, this is probably my favorite main story chapter. Like, that's what I was thinking a few parts ago, and I still think it's the case. I'm having an absolute blast. And yes, the trailer's really good. I don't think I didn't watch Recoletta's character trailer, but I did, of course, watch the version trailer and the story trailer and all that. But yeah, it's so good. It feels like it kind of reminds me of the themes that were brought up in chapter 3 of the main story when we had young Vertin and her kid friends at the school. It's definitely, you know, it's a facility for these people, and they're trying to keep order, but there's themes of revolution and resistance and stuff. It's pretty great. And they're fighting against fate, but they're working with fate, and it's like, what? She spoke Spanish. I thought she was Italian based on her name. Oh, is her name kind of Italian? I guess it is kind of Italian sounding. I don't really know much about different names and different cultures, but yeah, she speaks Spanish. And she's been speaking a decent amount of Spanish throughout the story, especially when she's talking about the story that she is writing. She, the character, is writing a story because she is a writer. But yeah. Alright, we're going to go ahead and dive into part 11 of the Chapter 9 new main story. So, spoilers ahead.
Wait here a moment. I'll report the situation and your request to Dr. Merlin. However, since he's always busy, I can't guarantee he'll agree to meet you. But I'll do my best to persuade him.
The jaguar figure slinks out through the inner door.
Now's our chance, Sonetto.
Our chance? What do you mean, Timekeeper?
It's unlikely that the jailer will let us search the central tower, even in this situation. We should take the initiative and look for clues while she's away.
I see, Timekeeper. I will do my best.
Sonetto's like, I will try to break the rules. I will do my best. Sonetto swiftly conducts a thoroughly unauthorized search. Oh my goodness.
Thank you for your assistance, Miss Recoleta. Without your precise predictions, we wouldn't be standing here now. I haven't yet grasped the connection between the die, your novel, and what's happening in this place. But by process of elimination, it's almost certain that your pen pal, Aleph, is right behind this door.
Sometimes I envy your decisiveness, Vertin. I'm sure many people have praised this special talent of yours.
Aww, Vertin's great. Barbacoa, Barcelona, Recoleta.
Are you alright? You don't seem as excited as when we first entered Kamala.
Ronan says, I thought based on her dress she looked like a nationalist revolutionary, like when nationalism spread across the many kingdoms of Italy to become a loose Italian republic by the famous Emmanuel I. Oh, she does kind of have a military uniform look to her, doesn't she? Which is strange when you consider that she's supposed to be more of an artiste. You know, breaking free from the structures and the powers that be. Recoleta holds her gaze on the tightly shut door, uncertain whether she hopes it will open now or ever again.
The all-seeing sentinel of the Panopticon. veiled within the central tower. If it truly is Aleph, I don't know how to face such a terrifying and increasingly plausible reality.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, but Timekeeper, I think you'll want to see these.
Sign Erd.
Ooh.
This is a letter from Dr. Dorez.
The delicate signature matches the one in the manuscript folder.
Her handwriting. It's as beautiful as I'd imagined. Who is it addressed to?
Yeah, Ronan, there's so many spoilers, so just warning. Spoilers ahead and all that stuff. And I just thought of something. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that chat alert. Okay.
Dear Mr. Aleph. Aleph?
Yeah, this whole story is so good that I feel like you should avoid spoilers at all, if at all possible. Because it's been one of the best written stories they've done so far.
Looks like Dorez and Aleph are acquaintances. Or at least, they've had some correspondence. Dear Mr. Aleph, my apologies if this reaches you at an inconvenient time. I am Dorez, pen name Erd, an ordinary inmate of the Panopticon of Kamala. I write seeking your guidance, if you wouldn't mind offering it to me.
Yeah, exactly. Like Chameleon says, there's really big plot twists. So, yeah.
I heard from the physician, Dr. Merlin, that...
You have the answer to every question. A statement which has been echoed by the idealist and the other inmates.
Aww.
I have something I wish to ask you. What exactly is your role at the prison? Chief Warden? A secret backer? An observer who dominates the prison? Are you truly the supreme ruler of the Panopticon of Kamala?
They tear open the next letter, eager to read on.
Dear Erd, I do indeed have answers for every question, including yours. I'm afraid every one of your speculations is off the mark. I am merely an inmate who chose to imprison himself here.
Oh, okay.
And allow me to point out that your identity isn't as ordinary as you claim. Why is it that you, my fellow inmate and guest of Manus Vindictae, are so interested in Kamala?
Dr. Dorez? A guest of Manus Vindictae?
Oh, a guest. Wow, that sound. A muffled shattering of glass interrupts their reading.
It came from inside the room. Do you think they're okay?
The jailer and the physician! What happened?
The door defies any attempt at an answer, sealing all the events from view.
I'm not sure, but it could be bad. Come on, let's go in and see if they're all right.
Central Tower Surgical Theater. The unlocked door leads to another room more decrepit and oppressive than the last. A cold operating table lies in the center, surrounded by scattered bottles and medical instruments.
It seems we've stumbled upon the physician's...
The physician's office. I should have known. But... is this an operating room? As if this prison wasn't bizarre enough already.
Inside the narrow operating room, the Jaguar reacts badly to their intrusion.
Didn't I tell you to wait outside? What do you think you're doing barging in like this?
We were just worried about your safety, jailer.
Enough. Get out of...
Quiet.
Ooh.
The reptilian complex governs all our fundamental functions.
Hello. Wait, is that a person? No! Okay, what should I do? I feel like we're gonna get that part in the trailer. I'm gonna put a content classification for violent and graphic depictions, just in case we get some realistic gore or whatever here. Okay, updated. Because I just want to be absolutely careful and stuff. And look, there's glitching happening in the text.
Our heartbeat, breathing, fight or flight responses, and our territory and hierarchy awareness. Our primitive ancestors, like reptiles and birds, followed such instincts to survive. Through millions of years of evolution, we developed the limbic system. This processes emotions and forms memories. It allows us to feel fear, sadness, anger, joy. Our behaviors are given meaning. Now it's the neocortex that makes up more than 2/3 of our total brain volume. Language, perception, logical reasoning, abstract thought. This is what forms the complexity of human nature. We read, create, perceive. We try to understand both the world and ourselves. We are forever setting goals, one after another. And all this, these multitudes, happens within the confines of the skull, in the tight folds of the crowded cerebral cortex.
He's giving me Hannibal Lecter vibes right now.
Is he performing surgery?
Such a delicate and elaborate organ. Were it unable to forget, what would come of it? Can this space, no larger than the palm of my hand, truly accommodate dozens of people at once?
Huh? What are you talking about, my man? At last, the physician sets down his operating scissors and needle, signaling the end of the surgery. Yet at the same time, the old machine issues an alarm, signaling that his patient's vital signs are wavering. Oh, maybe that was the sound they heard?
What's happened to the patient? It looks like he's dying.
Her anxiety rises as the question goes unanswered. On the screen, the last waveforms disappear, leaving only a constant flat tone.
¿Fracasó la cirugía?
Did the surgery fail?
Nonsense. The surgery was a tremendous success. I have erased his debilitating hysteria and restored order to the panopticon.
What about his heartbeat?
What are you trying to achieve by barging in here?
The man behind the operating table stares at the uninvited guests expectantly, but does not give them a chance to respond.
Forget it. The next operation requires my attention.
It's hard to overstate my satisfaction. That sounds... Okay, that's a reference to lyrics in a song. Oh, I know that reference. I'm sure I do. I know that reference. Oh, it's Still Alive by GLaDOS. Okay.
Jailer, show them out. Bring me the next patient in 15 minutes.
I'm pretty sure that guy died, right? That guy died? The flatline? There wasn't any pulse?
I'm sorry, Miss Burton. I'm afraid you have to leave now.
Recoleta steps forward, blocking their path. There is a hint of pleading in her voice.
Please, just let us speak with you. It'll only take a moment. I have something very important I need to ask.
No, he's completely fine, don't worry. Oh, goodness. Her question is not given time to take shape. I'm really concerned about Aleph as a character. So what are they gonna do to, like, give him a redemption arc after this? I don't think there's any redemption arc that's gonna make me feel better about him.
Important. Nothing is of greater importance than my experiments in the Panopticon, outsiders. To ensure they continue, the stability of time and schedule is absolutely paramount.
Experiments in the Panopticon? So you really are the controller of the prison, then?
Controller? What an outdated notion. Superficial, really. The Panopticon has no need for such power, regardless of who occupies the central tower, or even if no one's there at all. Every inmate is both the observer and the observed, both wielders and subjects of power. Achieving such a state requires no physical or violent measures. The structure of the Panopticon itself is the mechanism which sustains it. Komala is simply a manifestation of this model. Once I confirm its feasibility and adaptability, this model can be applied to any functional setting with only minor modifications.
I've been saving pulls for you, dude. I feel gross now.
So far, it has proven to be far superior to any current system of governance in our world. Transcendental, even.
Sure.
Curse it. Why am I wasting time explaining this to you? Time is running out.
His voice actor's really good, though. Just gotta say. The investigator keenly senses the key within his words.
Dr. Marlin, you keep mentioning time. What exactly do you mean by that?
Really? You need to ask? Even those oily-headed lunatics know it. The end of this era is imminent, is it not?
Oh, you know that the storm is coming? Indeed, the word that was so close to being spoken.
You know about the storm?
That's what you call it, is it? A storm that washes everything away? You employees of the St. Pavlov Foundation should know better than I. Soon, this era and everything in it will cease to exist.
I guess if you were aware of the storm and had no idea how to escape it, you would start doing crazy weird things, maybe, but still.
I must prove the feasibility of the Panopticon model before this place is turned to ruins, or something even more unrecognizable.
What's the point of proving the feasibility of the model if you know that everything's coming to an end anyway?
The storm that washes everything away?
Uh-oh.
What on earth are you two talking about?
Don't worry about it, don't worry about it. Shush, shush, shush. The conversation extends beyond even the most imaginative creations of the aspiring writer, I imagine. Doomsday MRFers?
No one can predict the era to which we will be reversed.
Everyone needs a hobby, I guess. I didn't mean to excuse his actions. I'm not trying to excuse his actions, I'm trying to find the motivation behind them.
I have seen the eras change.
Any kind of reasoning.
The transformation of this place, over and over.
Oh, you've survived them? That's nice. Do you have an umbrella?
But no matter which era each of these 9 storms, as you call them, has taken us back to, Cordeismo continues to plague this land.
What is that?
Dependency theorists, martyred revolutionists. I've seen them all. You, young writer, are no different from those intellectuals who were swept away in the rain.
Caudillismo is a system of political social domination based on the leadership of a strong man that arose after the wars of independence from Spain in 19th century Latin America. Oh, okay. Martyred revolutionists, I've seen them all. Right. He's seen it over and over again.
Only the
repeated
cycles of madness and brutality. An endless, meaningless struggle.
Right. Okay. He's definitely, yeah, he's that tortured soul we see in the in the illustration for Aleph.
Only in this forgotten corner can we momentarily escape the plundering of the marauders and the chaos they unleash.
Who are the marauders he's talking about, I wonder? Anyway, he is in a Groundhog's Day situation, it seems like, with the storm.
Although it won't be long before this place is looted by those oily-headed lunatics. Just as it has countless times before, on this land as rich as silver.
Oh. He mutters to himself.
But there is still hope. Even in a wasteland, we may still be saved.
Is he doing the experiments in order to save them?
As long as I uncover the path to transcendentality,
Uh-huh.
I will find the ultimate answer.
Uh-huh.
Ugh, I've already wasted far too much time on you. Leave, now.
He's like Oliver with the pocket watch. He takes the pocket watch, he's like, I'm getting into my overtime. Bugs me. I like how his scalpel is just floating against his finger. Oh, I think I see it. I don't know if the storm's mechanics are ironclad. I've learned to accept and let it wash over me. Oh, absolutely. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. The physician turns away, beginning preparations for the next surgery, organizing his worn-out instruments.
You heard him. Please don't press things any further.
All right, Senor. I get it. Obviously, you don't want to discuss my novel with me anymore. So I won't insist upon it. All the letters we wrote to one another. All those inspiring revisions and suggestions. I guess they meant nothing to you.
Her voice wavers. Rejections, closed doors, harsh critiques. This proves more devastating than all of them together. I bet.
But there's still something I must tell you. Jailer, could you please allow us a private conversation with the No, with Aleph.
Hearing this, the physician stops.
Leave us, jailer. I'll spare these outsiders 5 minutes.
Oh, suddenly. Okay. Suddenly he's got 5 minutes. Uh-huh. 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 The jaguar turns to leave, her face revealing an uncharacteristic sorrow as she lingers on the girls one last time. This time she offers no words. Oh? What? Oh, okay. I mean, obviously we're gonna keep going. Please, won't you reconsider? Aleph. Okay. Alright. A clipping. When he pulls out the ice pick, don't be afraid. Panic is proof that you're still lucid, for now. He's not above murdering someone under the guise of science, but he will not let this teenager be sad. Oh my gosh. Do I need the content warning on my stream? I'm probably fine, huh? I'm gonna remove it for now, but if anyone who's already done the story can let me know if there's a graphic scene coming up, I'd love to be on the safe side. Even if it doesn't have blood, even if it, like, you know, I just know the trailer has the weird Clockwork Orange scene in it with the weird metallic tools holding someone's eyeballs open and stuff like that. I'll want to put up a content warning for that. I don't think we see more gore. There's more blood in the trailer. Really? Okay. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Ooh, 1 second. I think I will turn on my little fan here. It's not hot enough for the AC, but it is hot enough for just a little bit of air movement. 1 second. Almost done. Oakley dokley. Sorry, I should mute my microphone every time I move it around. But I just want to move it around all the time. I need a more expensive mic arm that doesn't make noise when you move it. Okay. A clipping. When he pulls out the ice pick, don't be afraid. Panic is proof that you're still lucid. For now. Read the clipping. In 1935, Professor Antonio from Portugal became intrigued by a medical study documenting how gorillas became docile after the removal of their frontal lobes. Inspired by this, he successfully performed the world's first human frontal lobotomy. Oh, great. Known as leucotomy. The surgery was remarkably successful, paving the way for significant breakthroughs in research. In 1949, Professor Antonio was awarded the Nobel Prize in Medicine for his work. Wow. Daedalus says, honestly, the fact that it was okay in China is a pretty safe metric for gore. That's not to say that there won't ever be trigger warnings. I don't think Chinese content censors really allow for blood, open wounds, or human skeletons. Honestly, regulations for what is allowed in games in different countries, it feels like it's always very arbitrary, badly regulated, and not good enough, you know? I would much prefer other audience members who've gone through the media to let me know what they thought. I trust that much more. And, yeah. Like, there were some things in the Vienna patch that were real rough that I wish I had put up a content warning for. And they didn't even show it to us. They just, you know, we reread it. And it's like, oh my gosh. HSR and their golden blood, LMAO. Yeah. That makes it so much better. Just make it gold, and now it's fine. Through continuous practice and refinement, he and others eventually improved and perfected the procedure, even developing a specialized leucotome. I think that's how you say that. However, the surgical technique required a high level of expertise, and as a result, it was never widely adopted. So that was 1935, and in 1949 he was awarded for stuff. 1945, American doctor Walter Freeman modified the procedure, which became infamously known as the ice pick lobotomy. Goody! The technique involved rendering patients unconscious with electroshock or anesthesia and then hammering a steel pick roughly the thickness of a chopstick through the upper part of the eye socket into the brain. Why did I take off the content warning? Why did I take off the content warning? I was way too fast. Good lord. Danganronpa making it bright pink is still the better solution, to be honest. The pick was manually rotated to destroy the frontal lobe. Great. Wonderful. In 1950, following strong recommendations from psychiatric pathologist Vasily Gayanovsky, the Soviet government became the first to announce a complete ban on frontal lobotomies. Yay! Based! I'm not going to say based Soviet or anything, but you know, based. We love it when you ban frontal lobotomies. Thank you. Goodness. Over the next 2 decades, most countries, including the United States, followed suit and passed laws prohibiting the procedure. Okay, so it was around for about 15 years. That's less time than I used to think it was. Ugh. You know? Even governments that people might think are evil can do things that are maybe good. a wrong clock can be right twice a day kind of situation. You know what I mean? That was great. I really loved reading that. Thanks, game. Thank you so much. That was a real treat. This note kind of killed me because is that what he was trying to do? Because he failed. I know. I mean, he was. They mentioned, you know, they showed his scalpel, and then the narration mentioned a scissor clipping through something, so like he was stitching something up. And I don't think you stitch something up after a lobotomy, because it's literally going in the eye socket. There's nothing to stitch there. So I don't know. I'm crossing my fingers that Aleph was not doing a lobotomy. Really hoping that was the case. Oi, oi, oi. I'm gonna... Okay, we do have to keep going, but like... Maybe... Okay, maybe right now is a good time for the last ad break. Yeah. According to Wikipedia, it was mostly banned after 1977 International Congress, so like that is more time than they say. Yeah. Took a while for the rest of the world to catch up to the USSR in that respect. Oh, how do we, like, go back to see stuff that we've already read? I just realized. How do you go back if you want to see that stuff? There's no real way to do that, huh? It's just gone. Oh, the menu and the atlas. That's nice. Thank you, Kinoko-kun. A clipping. So in 1950, the USSR banned it. And then it didn't become internationally banned until 1977. Depending on the state, I think it was still legal to perform involuntary lobotomies into the 90s and the 2000s? Jiminy Christmas. Rather than let it go to court to have the practice become unconstitutional, this last state's banned it, so there is still an avenue for it making a comeback. Yeah, it's technically legal here, they just don't do it anymore, right? Yep. Oh boy. Allegedly. It's always important to throw in the allegedly. Let's look at Loggerhead. Let's look at a cute anime character for a second here. Hi, Loggerhead. Let's think about happy things. Yeah. Yeah. What are you filming, Loggerhead? A documentary or something? Oh, yeah. To be fair, women wearing pants was illegal till 2013, so nobody's reading the laws anymore, apparently, LMAO. In France or in the US or what? What are we talking here? Oh my gosh. Hello. They debanned it, like, oops. They debanned wearing pants? Oh my gosh. Where's the other girl? Tuesday! Hello, baby girl. How you doing? You got a bunch of keys. You're not running your motel anymore. Why do you have a bunch of keys? Can you, like, go somewhere else? You're in the shade here. I want to see you in the sunlight. Just a heads up, in the future, I think it would be really fun to spend my over 2,000 mix keys to make another fun mutant critter. I just don't know which ones to mix. I've already made the top hat dodo. I don't know if I should, like, do tea kettler or should I do... If you do 2 Abang Akus, does it turn into a mutant Abang Akus? That's what I'm curious about. I could do Splinter Cat, and that would be cheaper. But it would also just take a really long time. If it's going to take a long time, I might as well do the one that uses the more amount of stuff. Okay. One last little ad break. I'm just gonna press the 3-minute button for the ad, and I'll do some random stuff, and then I'll wait till the ad's done before I start the story up. Oh, they make one or the other. Oh. Anyway, I'm gonna turn on the ads, and we'll be back in 3 minutes, alright? 3, 2, 1... Ad break. There we go. Unilog. How many pulls do I have? I have 100 pulls that I'm saving up for a murderer. I mean, I looked at Alepht's design and I told myself, that's a kind and caring soul. Surely this guy is gonna be my new husbando. Right? There's no way he's a awful person. Goodness sakes. So very rough. I could try to beat the hard version of this thingy. I'm back on the hour. You're back now, or you're gonna be back in an hour from now? Either way, okay, Ronin Otaku Knight. Sounds good to me.
Program activated.
Ooh, deal 1 damage to a random enemy, triggers 2 times. Okay. Going from Joe to Aleph as far as male characters is very funny. Yeah.
This card should do.
Charging.
Oh, you're just back in to pop in. Yeah. Oh wait, there's another thing I need to do.
Loading.
There we go.
Please, allow me.
Eliminate target.
Feel my stock embrace.
Barrage.
Flee, mortals!
Nothing happens. Okay, so there's a die every turn. I didn't even notice that the other time. That's funny.
Charging.
We do this, and this, and this, and this.
The light that
Also, his name means the letter A. Really? I did not know that.
Do have a little faith in me, Master.
I appreciate that explanation. I am a somewhat uneducated person from the US.
Folie, more take back, I say.
Nothing happens. Again! Okay.
Charging.
Perfectly understood.
Loading. Target confirmed.
I don't know why he's named like that. It is interesting.
Folie, mortal.
Keep calm.
Eliminate target.
Feel my dark embrace.
There we go.
Finally, it's just you and me, Master.
Okay, are we ready? It's almost time to start the next part of Chapter 9. If I had a nickel for every time I ran into an Aleph, I would have 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. Okay. Man, oh man. I guess we're gonna keep going. I'm really nervous. I'm really nervous about Aleph. But the only way to find out what the heck is going on is to keep going. So let's keep going. Chapter 9, Part 13, Master of the Labyrinth. Within the corpse of the labyrinth's builder, he proclaims, "It is and has always been perfect." What is going on, you guys? Only the steady beeping of a heart monitor keeps the eerie silence at bay. Wait a second, there was a steady beeping of a heart monitor? Is the guy alive? Okay, I will dip. Okay, thanks for stopping by, Ronan. See you next time, hopefully. He's gonna explain it eventually, lol. But if you don't know, Hebraic numerology, it kind of makes no sense, which is kind of... Thanks, Reverse 1999. What? Hebraic numerology. It's Hebrew! Okay. Huh. Oh. But yeah, there's a heart monitor. The heart monitor is beeping. His patient is still alive? Maybe? I guess we'll see.
Dr. Merlin, or should I say Aleph, I don't know why you're using my novel to manipulate the Panopticon, but you need to know that it won't serve your purpose, whether in fiction or reality. You claim that the inmates are both the observer and the observed, and both wielders and subjects of power. How could you be so blind as to not see the true state of the Panopticon?
That's exactly how I feel, Recoletta.
The inmates haven't achieved any perfect order. No, they've devolved into pitiful caricatures of themselves, performers in some endless pantomime to be watched from the central tower. Even their medication has become a prop to demonstrate the so-called randomness of fate in the theater that is the Panopticon. This farce hasn't made the Panopticon a better place. No, it has warped it into a twisted theater of cruelty, where the sick are denied treatment and left to quietly perish in the dark corners of its halls. And literature has died alongside them.
No, that's right.
This prison is a monster, born under the gaze of this all-seeing power. Aleph, is this truly the ultimate answer you've been searching for?
The surveillance state. The physician suddenly seems startled, stepping back and accidentally knocking over his tools.
What? Are you suggesting that this is the answer I've reached? That my experiment has been a failure all along, and I've been too blind to see it? No. Impossible. Foucault's theory is flawless.
It's a theory, bro. Having his life's work denied is something he cannot tolerate. The man searches the tabletop with feigned composure, but in doing so, he unintentionally sweeps all the surgical tools onto the floor. Oh my gosh, he's a loser.
Every obstacle to the running of this prison. It is pure, sacrosanct. I have constantly re-evaluated the system, adjusting my instructions to my subordinates to ensure the most efficient maintenance of the established order.
So you do have subordinates. You do see that there's a hierarchy here. Mm-hmm.
And now, you stand here and tell me that everything I've done has been meaningless from the very beginning? That the power model I have implemented has already been replaced by an alternative?
Chameleon says, it's also not really what Foucault was saying, but like, who the F cares at this point? He killed people, question mark.
No, outsiders. The perfect order of the Panopticon shall not be disrupted. I will not be swayed by your lies. This facility is superior to all others. Nothing here escapes my notice.
So you are watching them. At last, in a barely noticeable corner, he finds the 20-sided die wreathed in black mist.
That said, it isn't easy to work a miracle, as we all know.
He's being influenced by Manus Vindictae.
I shall personally verify it. All myself.
Also, this is the physician, not Aleph, if you really think about it. Whoa! All of his emotions dissolve as he grips the die. The narrow operating room shakes as if responding to him, emitting a distorted screech.
What's happening?
Wow, 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 wow.
Visitors from another era. You have come here with plagued ideologies in an attempt to break the subtle balance of the Panopticon. But did you not notice the tiles beneath your feet? The cracks and water stains on the walls, constantly changing right before your eyes. This room, the previous room, every room, you have blindly wandered through them, seeing them as nothing more than the building blocks of a monotonous labyrinth. But this place was not born from the chaotic imaginings of a madman. No. Every inch has been crafted through the meticulous harnessing of order and power. Every wisp of spider silk drifting in the wind. Every speck of rust on the gallery rail. Every detail of the Panopticon has been built by my own hands. With this ever-shifting die, concepts may be transformed into reality, and ideals into substance. I observe the movement of every entity, the passage of every second. The moment you entered this realm, you too became subjects of my experiment.
Okay. The physician. At the start of each round, automatically casts a surgical incision at the corresponding rank and gains Moxie +1. That's the mass attack. Why are we reading mechanics on normal? Because I freaking feel like it. Leave me alone. Jeez. It is unfortunate that I'll probably blow him away before he has a chance to attack me back. But sounds like he inflicts a debuff on you.
Admit it. This is all getting out of hand.
Oh. Dungeons and Dragons, the devil's game. You say that, like, but like that's literally, that happened for real when I was growing up. People thought Or at least not people, but like, you know, there were these stupid fearmongers. Just like there's fearmongers today. Maybe some of the same fearmongers, in fact, who were like, oh, rolling die, it's gonna make the devil possess you or something. The Satanic Panic. That's exactly right, the Satanic Panic.
Impossible! All is under the die's control.
What? Oh, there's two. There's two.
What may appear to be chaos is nothing more than a temporary deviation.
This card should...
Charging.
Please, allow me.
Barrage.
Stay back, I say.
Okay, it looks like he'll last through one turn. And so that's the thingy. Operation ready. And it helps him gain Moxie. Oh god, Kinoku-kun wants me to play optimally.
Loading. Charging.
Perfectly understood.
If
Target
only
confirmed.
I played optimally.
Flee, mortal!
Faraday's miracle.
It's special, precise, perfect.
So there's planets out here. This is giving me Kalabauna vibes.
It is far from perfect. You know that as well as I.
So I bet that's Aleph talking on
Why
the right.
else would we be conducting this experiment?
Finally, it's just you and me, Master.
This happened when the Idealist was attacked too.
Right.
To think we've been trapped in a prison fabricated by a dye all this time. Did the physician really build all this with such a small, simple object?
The distortion is getting worse. Prepare yourselves to fight or flee.
The situation begins to spiral out of control. Now everything in the room screeches and twists until they become a mess of meaningless black and white lines.
Please, Dr. Merlin, stop this.
No. You're asking for the impossible. Power model of the Panopticon is destined to permeate all of society. Such insignificant interferences could never plunge it into chaos. But it already has, Merlin. You failed.
Whoa.
I have not failed. As long as I keep the prison running.
The physician fiddles with the die, muttering baffling and incoherent words to himself. Daedalus says, I think I'm referencing a parody by the Dead Alewives where they're going to make an expose of the darkness at the heart of D&D. They reveal exactly what you'd expect, kids casting magic missile and arguing about Funyuns. Dead Alewives, is that the... That's that really, really old video, right? The... It's a gray elf with gray eyes. No, I don't have blue eyes. That video. That one, that's like over 20 years old now. Oh, it's so old. Makes me feel old.
It isn't your power model running the prison.
The Summoner 2 models, is that what it is? Yeah, they're using 3D models from a video game. And they look like monsters doing D&D together.
It's simply a form of magic, unrelated to the microphysics of power you seek. It provides no aid in your experimentation with power.
Elam Aleph.
It's a false hope. A castle in the sky given to you by the military junta and Manus Vindictae.
Manus Vindictae? So you really are working with them. What exactly do you intend to do?
Mm-hmm. How often can Aleph break through, I wonder?
I've also failed. I've ended up a pathetic fool. Lost in the chaos of reality. Just like the idealist, chasing visceral realism. Paracelsus seeking the fountain of youth. And Zahir obsessing over the one-sided coin.
Man. What kind of person do they expect to play Reverse 1999 who actually knows all of these references? I'm just curious. You know what I mean? Like, I would love to learn about these references. Like, I am all for it. Teach me about them. But referencing them, and like it's something that, like it's pop culture? I don't think that's even close to half of the player base.
When did it all start falling apart, Aleph?
They expect us to Google, I think, LOL. Oh, maybe. What a... Man, I don't like that way of engaging with media, having to, like, look things up the whole time. They always complain about us looking at screens when we're watching another screen, don't they?
When the doorknob loosened. When the prisoner's wounds started to fester. Or when the daily disinfectant concentration reached 28 milligrams. Or the crack in the second gray brick on the wall expanded to 6 millimeters.
His voice is so good.
Or was it when Warden Tartuffe left Ushuaia with news of the Foucault Association's dissolution?
Dissolved, huh?
This place should have been the ideal ground for psychoanalytic practice. Why did they halt all research, all discussion? We've been abandoned, haven't we? By eras old and new.
Daedala means it's more about vibes. Sometimes learning more about the intricacies just produce more plot holes and flawed logic. Maybe. I mean, the times when I have looked things up, it's been really interesting, and it hasn't really created anything that I thought was really weird. But I guess I haven't looked up stuff enough to run into the times when it came up with weirdness. Tartuffe means imposter. Aww.
You designed and have maintained everything.
It is Aleph.
Right down to
He's got anime hair, it looks like, from his silhouette.
But it is these details that trap you. And as the bars close around you, you are losing your name, Merlin. And you're becoming a physician. A man forever imprisoned in these walls. I don't understand.
The mic is picking up the birds making noise outside my window, I'm pretty sure. Just so you know, that's not coming from the video game. That's an actual real-life wild bird outside my window.
All these false eras are like a dreadful novel with no conclusion. Trying to find answers within such things is, in itself, a mistake.
Birds, you have to be quiet. I already have a noise suppression filter on, but apparently it's not enough. That's funny. And I have the window open because I want to have the fan blowing. It's kind of hot.
Much like them, you are destined never to attain transcendentality. Tell me, Aleph, does the ultimate answer even exist?
The die becomes too heavy for him to hold any longer. It drops to the floor. Whoa. The distortions and tremors of the prison finally subside, as if the pulse of a massive heart had stopped for an instant. Amid the swirling dust, the girls help each other stand, but fail to notice the truth revealing itself before them.
Timekeeper, are you alright?
Yes. And you? And Miss Recoleta? Are you okay? Miss Recoleta?
The smoke clears, but no one responds. The named girl simply stares in shock at the figure before her.
You're...
What?
The word utopia derives from Greek. It means no place.
Right. It can't exist.
People cannot understand the structure of the labyrinth, yet they continue to follow its paths. They cannot comprehend the mechanics of fate, yet they believe in its jurisdiction. As if, by doing so, everything will naturally fall into place. And now, the polar night approaches.
Hello, Aleph. Good to see you. Daedalus says, I know I need to be in the mood for expanded reading. I remember watching Ghost in the Shell 2 and thinking, there's no way these cops would be engaging in dueling literary references. Please stop. I never watched Ghost in the Shell stuff beyond the first old movie. But I do remember anime reviewers mentioning that there's a lot of word salad in those in the dialogue there.
How good it is to see you, pen pal.
Aww. Real quick, how much control did you have over the physician when he was killing that guy on the surgeon table? Just curious. If you could clear that up real quick, I would really like to know that as soon as possible. Ah! Okay, I'm happy to pull him again. I'm excited to pull him again. Chameleon says, it's kind of funny how they did all of this and then they literally woke Aleph on Merlin's chest. Wait, they literally wrote Aleph on Merlin's chest. Oh, does he have... Is Aleph on the physician's chest? And I just didn't notice it? Like in his costume design? The pin holding his cape! Oh, let's take a look together, everybody. Let's take a look together. Let's take a look. It's in a book. Reading Rainbow. It's kind of hard to see, but... Is it... It's this metallic thing. Ayy. Uh-huh. Wow, there it is. Ah! Big. So all of the splintered mirror fragments, it's because he has a splintered personality all this time. Enhance, enhance. I'm going Blade Runner. The sound that that machine makes in Blade Runner when he's enhancing the photo. Wow. It's him! It's really him! And hopefully he didn't... Hopefully he, like... was not able to stop the physician from murdering that patient. Although I'm still confused. There was a heartbeat monitor. So I'm still like, are they trying to pretend that the guy didn't die? Or what? Blade Runner, Super Troopers, what's the difference? Wait, Super Troopers. Oh, wait, Super Troopers is... I get it mixed up with a different movie. I'm just gonna look it up and not... Okay, Super Troopers is the comedy. Right, got it. Wow. Okay. We got one last thing here. I think this is either a conversation or the narrator. I can't remember what this is, but this will be the last thing for the stream today. It's a conversation! Have you ever heard of Folie, Senato? Senato? Yes. He's a renowned French philosopher and social theorist. I read books about his theories at the SPDM. So those are precisely the kind of books they'd never confiscate. Sorry, I don't understand. Never mind that. Could you explain what you read in detail? All right. Folie argued that madness isn't a natural phenomenon, but rather a cultural construct. In early times, punishment was a public spectacle, a display of power for the rulers. Nowadays, things are different. After the Enlightenment, punishment became a form of public education intended primarily to deter crime. That's true. The phrase public execution has all but disappeared from everyday language. Discipline and punishment. By that logic, the SPDM aligns closely with Folie's ideals. Ahem. But Deleuze believed that another model of power had replaced disciplinary power, the power of administration, a highly efficient yet indifferent system of management. The system holds control over the environment, and under such circumstances, the individual's inner self ceases to matter. Timekeeper, is this discussion because of what the physician said? That's right. Initially, I just wanted to hear your perspective on this. Now, I'm starting to see how this model reduces people to little more than animals. Right, Timekeeper? I'm glad they had this conversation. It's really important to think about disciplinary power. Highly efficient yet indifferent system of management. Controlling the environment and making the individual's inner self cease to matter. Folie was not pro-panopticon, he just said it existed. Verton, stop canceling the dead Frenchman. That's true! When I was looking at it on in Wikipedia, yeah. Panopticon, let's look at it together. Learn about things together. In the mid-1970s, the Panopticon was brought to the wider attention by French psychoanalyst Jacques-Alain Miller and the French philosopher Michel Foucault. In 1975, Foucault used the Panopticon as a metaphor for the modern disciplinary society in Discipline and Punish, French title shown here. I'm not going to try to pronounce it. And if you're curious, this is a book by Foucault that is an analysis of the social and theoretical mechanisms behind the changes that occurred in Western penal systems. Penal systems include, prisons and jail during the modern age based on historical documents from France. Foucault argues that prison did not become the principal form of punishment just because of the humanitarian concerns of reformists. He traces the cultural shifts that led to the predominance of prison via the body and power. Prison is used by the quote-unquote disciplines, new technological powers that can also be found, according to Foucault, in places such as schools, hospitals, and military barracks. Oh, there you go. He bravely argues everything is a prison, which has been memed to death, lol. Oh, I see. Okay. I mean, I have dipped my toes in activism. You might be able to tell that I might be a little bit of an activist. I don't know if you can tell. It's really subtle. Really subtle on this stream that I might be an activist, if you look at my stream name, my stream title. And this part about how prison is used by the disciplines in places such as schools, hospitals, and military barracks. That's gonna get a hard agree from me. Especially when he mentions schools. In activism, we talk a lot about the school to jail pipeline, the school to prison pipeline that exists in, at the very least, it exists in the American school system, I would argue, where certain children will be targeted and get in trouble, and then get in trouble because they're getting in trouble. And it's like the die. You had to have a bad die roll, and then you will continue to have bad die rolls, and that's the pipeline to jail. But yeah. Oh yeah, he's not necessarily wrong, but I sent one of them in the Discord so you can see what I mean, lol. Nice! Yep. I love a good meme, especially when it's a meme that might inspire... might inspire some interesting conversation. I know the meme is definitely making fun of him, but I also agree with him. It's okay. Foku. You're based. You're based. Unless he turned out to be a racist or something. In which case, I take all that back. Good stuff. I love this main chapter. It's amazing and excellent. And I highly recommend everyone check it out. It looks so good and it is so good. And I'm having a blast checking it out with all of you. Goodness. Let's do the hard version of this boss fight and see how we do. Everybody uses that stuff. Okay.
Stay behind me. I'll keep us safe.
Let's see how well this goes.
You have a little faith in me, Master.
If my glancing over Alepht's kit, at least boss Alepht's kit, was correct, I think I saw something about us taking damage during each action, and this is an extra action team, so oops. That might not be a good thing.
Charging. Loading.
Perfectly understood.
Target confirmed.
Anyway, I'll talk and... Oh, I already finished it. Okay, never mind. Yay! Alright. Y'all should join my Discord if you haven't. If you have a Prime subscription on Twitch that you can get rid of, you could throw it my way if you want. That'd be cool. Let me see. If you want to join my socials, I'm ShinyBotTV on Twitter, X, Blue Sky, YouTube for VODs, and here on Twitch, of course. If you're watching this as a VOD on YouTube, come join us on Twitch. It's awesome and fun. Let's see. I didn't know Deleuze, though. The idea that society is so decentralized from actual buildings now that the power is in the administration, in which we're all nothing but numbers and stats, which kills individuality, is so interesting. Yes! It's definitely a way of thinking that's... I think a lot of people can understand why that concept is there. Man... That's why I think we are all more than numbers. We are more than our roles in society. We are more than where and when we were born. We are so much more than that. The concepts in this are so good. Super, super good. Very much good. Wow, 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 wow. Yeah, I think that's about it. I hope y'all take care of yourselves. Eat some food, stay hydrated. we're going to go ahead and say goodbye to the recording here, and then I will be sending everybody off on a raid for maybe some more Reverse 1999 or something like that. Bye, recording! Alright, that's the recording. And let me just take a gander and see who is streaming. Wow, there's like actually so many people that I follow who are streaming right now.
It took me so long to prepare my costume when I went as Joan from The Passion of Joan of Arc. First, I put on a straw-braided crown, then a ring on my finger.
What are you
and an
talking
arrow
about?
in my chest. Then I'd say the classic line, and if I die, I pray that I may be laid in consecrated ground.
Oh, okie dokie. That was very dramatic and nice. I think we can raid. Let's see. Let me see. Sure. How about we raid this streamer who is also checking out Komala Prison? So I assume that means they're checking out the story. They might be further ahead of where I am in the story, so keep that in mind. Oh no, they're having stream issues. Did y'all delve into the cult of Pythagoras during chapter 5? Oh, I remember mention of that, but I didn't actually really dive into it. I just remember it was mentioned. You know what? I think we're gonna raid someone who's checking out the new Elden Ring, Night Rain. So let's do this. Let's raid... Wait, how do you say their name? Expalestallion? I should ask after we raid. But yeah, I'm a fan of Elden Ring stuff. I don't play it myself, but I support people that play it. Okay, and with that, let's go raid. Thank you everyone for joining in today. It was a nice fun time with y'all. Hope to see you in the next stream, okay? Bye-bye!